And we're live. Hello, everybody. I hope everyone is doing well this weekend. Sorry for a couple of minutes late. Anthony is getting situated here. So I just wanted to go ahead and start the live stream and let me know if you can hear me well or not. I'm turning up the volume so everyone can hear well. And I just want to say hello to everybody. Hello, Matthew. Thanks for coming in today. Hello, J Mars, and Happy Thoughts, and Steanne. This is like waiting for a government. What? Okay. A government department to open. No way will they open the doors 1 minute early. That's funny. Hi, Peps. And let's see, who else? Hello, Mama Sue. And we have, okay. We have somebody in Spanish here. Realidad. Okay. Hello, Realidad. How are you? Hablo español también. So I speak Spanish too. Let's see. And Monica. Hello, Monica. And then we have Torben Lund. Norway, I can't wait. That's so true. And I guess we're going to have to find out later what the verdict will be. Supposedly in March is the possibility of an actual verdict for Norway. But you know how the courts go. It takes forever for them to make a decision to do anything. Hello, Esty. Hello, Dallas. So hello, everyone. So I hope everyone has had a good week this week. And just want to give everyone a chance to kind of interact with each other. And if there's anything specific that you want to talk about today, it's kind of open to you and whatever you want. I did put in the description. If anyone wants to join the stage, they can at any point. It looks like Matthew is saying that whatever the decision in Norway is such an exposure. And I agree, Matthew. I think we can all agree that whatever happens in Norway, it doesn't matter because ultimately Watchtower has been exposed for their inhumane ways of treating people. Whether it be through shunning or their CSA problems, it's been exposed. Hello, Maurice. So, and then I guess probably something else besides Norway is, well, there are many European countries are, obviously seeing how they are treating their own members, like Jehovah's Witnesses shunning their own people, mistreating and abusing children and things like that. It's gotten a lot of exposure over the years, and they cannot hide anymore. The other thing that is kind of like new that maybe you want to talk about is they have their view on higher education. There's a new watchtower that's coming out and that they will be reading in the watchtower Sunday meeting. And that won't be until June. No, I'm sorry, July. Yeah, so the question, it won't be till to the middle of July. Make wise decisions regarding additional education. So it's, I was thinking about this. I was like, first off, they said, a long time ago, absolutely no higher education. And then you kind of like in my day, it was okay to have like a little vocational schooling, technical schooling, but definitely not college, like university. And then, of course, last year they decided that they would allow it. And now they're like flip-flopping on that again. They didn't come out right out and say you couldn't, but they would be like, "Oh, you better be careful if you decide you wanna go to college outside of your home." And they like to have these little fake what I call fake, yeah, experiences, right? Um, and it just makes me laugh, honestly. I'll have to see if I can find this one. It was silly, but it's like it's just annoying, because it's do we allow higher education or do we not? And it's like just make up a decision already and stick with it, whatever it is. And then, like they ask here in one's question, am I being influenced by the ungodly lifestyles of those around me? Mhm. Can I see through the world's empty philosophies? Am I fully convinced that only God's kingdom can solve mankind's problems? To guard your thinking abilities, guard your thinking. They love that, right? Not use your independent thinking skills. No, guard your thinking. Like, don't use them. Continue to be a good student of God's word. Bible study and meditation will help you to strengthen your conviction. Yeah, so that's their reasoning for it. But in the end, they still they kind of they like to guilt trip you into saying, well, first they'll say, well, it's okay if you choose to have our education. But beware, Satan's world is right there. And then I mean, you're gonna be thrown out to the wolves if you're not careful. Then you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't go. Silly stuff. So I just want to come in and say hello again to a few more people. Hello, Jane Spitfire, ST co-pilot. And let's see. And then we have New Yorican. Hello. Is that Ruby Quinn? Hello there. How are you? And let's see. Okay, Anthony's coming. Um, he's just around the corner here. Hello, Dallas. I don't know if I said hello to you. Oh, and hello, Jay. How are you, Jay? So, hello, time will pass. Good. So, all right. So we got a lot of people here. That's great. So we'll get Anthony in here. He should be here in just a moment. So yeah, I mean, it's always the same old stuff, right? Like it's just when you read some of the literature, you feel like there's a lot of flip-flopping. And to me, it just gets really aggravating to even read this stuff. Yeah. So and they want you to be super careful not to be friends with people in the world because they worry that, oh, you may be influenced by these people. God forbid, you actually end up being influenced by somebody, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad thing, And that sorry, my phone dropped. Oh yeah, Anthony's just around the corner. I know. Yeah. Don't you remember that old saying they used to say all that? I remember they would say that it's just around the corner, or then they would say, oh, it's just at the threshold. And I'm like, well, how much how much closer can we get till we're there, So silly. Oh, they want to see a t-shirt of yours. Okay, I'm coming. He's coming. Yeah, I've got a t-shirt. It's the one about finally celebrating my birthday, I mean. So I should go put it on really, but I have worn it a few times in here. So Monica says the news about Jehovah's Witnesses is so disturbing yet typical of these religious narcissists. That's true. Yeah, it's quite annoying because first off, they may get sued for their inhumane ways, but then at the same time, they are going after the XJW community. I mean, you probably heard about Kim and Mikey supposedly they may be, they've gotten letters, and I'm sure there's others where they want to take down the channels. So everybody's at risk here, just for exposing their inhumane ways. And they're so vicious, I mean, I don't know other, like, there's other, like, say, channels, like ex-Mormon channels. I could be wrong, but I don't think the Mormon church goes after them viciously. It's just freedom of speech. Obviously, you just have to watch out for copyrights. There's a new HBO special, Surviving Jehovah's Witnesses. Oh, yeah. Uh, oh, yeah, that's right. I need to check into that. Someone was talking about it last time or last weekend, so we need to check in that. So maybe if anyone has HBO, you can look that up. Surviving Jehovah's Witnesses. It's a good one too. Oh, and then we have The Desert Has Water. Hello, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Okay, in the UK, they used to say, "We turned the corner now. It's right in front." Oh, okay. That's interesting. I haven't heard of that one. I've just always heard at the threshold or just around the corner. Watchtower is cracking down on them really hard. Yeah, that's true. And unfortunately, it just shows what kind of people they really are. They're vicious people. Because they are so desperate to keep their members blind and deaf, but they're not going to be able to. So the only way is that they just try to scare people and, hey, don't read any apostate literature or don't watch any apostate videos, because it's and that would scare them possibly. Like, I'm sure there's plenty of controlled Jehovah's Witnesses right now who will not be willing to even they're not going to watch anything apostate because they're scared to death that they would be destroyed in Armageddon. That would be wrong. But if only they knew the truth about the truth, right? I think the losing Jehovah's Witness members in the U.S. and Europe, yeah, but they're growing in Africa and South America. And it's funny, that's true. I believe that is possibly true, because I was reading in this article, they talked about people from Africa and India. So maybe that might be where more of their growth is at. Yeah, I was just reading, and it's their watchtower of stay spiritually strong while getting additional education. And they ask questions like, what is your motive in getting an education? Guard your thinking abilities. How can you resolve to guard your thinking abilities? In other words, how can you make sure to stay brainwashed? How can you resolve to manage your time wisely and avoid harmful association? In other words, make sure you don't miss any meetings and continue to go out in field service and stay away from people who aren't Jehovah's Witnesses. Hello, Pomo Sapien. Missed y'all last week. Belated happy Valentine's. Oh, well, thanks, Pomo Sapien. Yeah. I hope everyone did have a nice Valentine's for those who decided to celebrate. Are you coming?
Yeah.
Okay, come on. Yeah, so anyways, people who have never been a Jehovah's Witness are openly talking about it. Oh yeah, thankfully Watchtower can't control them. And that would be good too, to see. That's true. Actually, I do know of a couple of Christian channels who have exposed Jehovah's Witnesses for their false teachings. They're on YouTube. I've seen them, and they're nice. They're not trying to be mean or nothing like that. But they have definitely exposed them for their false ways. And it just irks them to no end, Jehovah's Witnesses are like, nah! You know how angry they get. I hate that the org can't made me afraid of people that I had no reason to be afraid of. Mm-hmm. It's true. Like, don't be scared.
Okay.
And they want you to feel scared. Okay, here comes Anthony.
Yes.
I'm late.
You seem like you had it under control.
I know, but they were asking about you.
Oh.
Can't leave the audience waiting.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I always thought it was weird how Jehovah's Witnesses had to tell people all of their personal things. Yeah. I mean, are you talking about like talking to the elders? And I mean, it definitely is. If that's the case, if that's what you're talking about, that's crazy. Like, you do not need to tell the elders anything. It's none of their business. And honestly, all they do is, the whole point of confession in the Christian point of view is that you get something off your chest you feel bad about, and you can be forgiven of your sins. They instead will take that and use it against you and punish you. Oh, you did that? Oh, let me see. How many times? Let's see. How many other times have you been disfellowshipped in the past? We're keeping track. Like, Jesus didn't do that. Jesus didn't keep track of your sins. He forgave you. And I mean, it doesn't mean that you should just, not care, of course, but
I feel like I missed a whole conversation.
You did. But you can see the point is their way of handling so-called wrongdoing is not biblical. Oh, and we have Matthew in here. I didn't even notice. I apologize. You've been waiting to get on the stage here.
Hey, Matthew.
Okay.
I greet you all. How are you doing? Glad you could join us, Anthony.
Yeah.
Hi, Casey. You handled yourself really well on your own for a while.
Oh, good.
She did.
I'm trying. I was like, uh-oh. What do I say next?
I thought what you said about Norway, it isn't just the ruling, it's that independent state scrutiny is now happening openly. And that's the change. It changes the conversation permanently. So even if one country is dismissed, right, the precedent is global. And governments, they talk to each other. That's definitely happening. Nice to see that Avoid JW is back up, eh?
I know. I noticed
Yes.
they were down for a couple of days. Does anyone know why?
No news on that, but they functioning again.
Yes.
Yeah, I did notice. Thank goodness, because I was like, that was scary. Well, thank you. Time will pass. Appreciate the compliment. Appreciate that. Oh, someone is mentioning. I appreciate that. You do that every time. Watchtower. This later Watchtower is another nail in the coffin. They have changed their position on another matter to keep governments happy while publishing a new Watchtower on the so-called new light while not changing anything, probably. Yeah.
Hey, Jane. Hey, everybody.
And that's T-Man. I agree with you. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. We have somebody from Germany. Rocket. Hi. Guten Tag. I know a little bit.
Rocket Jogger. Yoga.
Rocket Jogger.
Okay.
Very cool. Oh,
talk about cults, man. The guy, the big rocket man, he was a huge cult guy. What was his name? Worked for the United States government. He blew himself up. That's how he died.
Oh, you're talking about the guy who was involved in this Satan.
The one that helped L. Ron Hubbard started. Yeah, he loaned L. Ron Hubbard money to start Scientology. What was his name?
He was involved in
Satanism.
Satanism.
Well, actually, the cult of Thelema.
Avon LaVey.
No. No, he followed Aleister Crowley.
Oh, Aleister
Crowley. Aleister Crowley and Anton LaVey very different.
But they both were involved in the same.
Well, one was a straight out Satanist. Aleister Crowley was in the Lima.
Whatever that is.
Do what thou wilt should be the whole of the law, blah, blah, blah.
Meaning do whatever you want.
Yeah.
With no consequences. Yeah.
What was that guy's name?
Not true.
But it's funny, you mentioned Rocket Man, and it popped in my mind.
Okay.
Oh, nobody's telling me.
Will that be in the Epstein file? I know, right? That's a good question. Yeah, I've always wondered about the governing body members themselves. Is there any goods on them? Now, we have heard of one who's passed away, that there was some, I don't know if you've heard this, Matthew, Macmillan, there was some accusations. I don't know if you.
Sorry, Casey. My mind was going to Jack Parsons. I'm trying to think.
Him, Jack Parsons. Thank you.
Oh, am I in the right direction?
Yes, that's him, Jack Parsons.
Okay. Sorry, Casey. My brain.
Okay. Yeah, no. I mean, he was asking something else. So
who's that? Millen. I missed that one. Sorry.
Okay. Do you remember who another governing body member? A.H. Macmillan was?
Yes.
So there was some accusations that he was, doing inappropriate things at one time. We won't say, but so he was a governing body member, and who else? I wonder if he's done stuff. Then who else?
Yeah.
Who else? But they keep whatever. They keep their life very private, so it's hard to know what kinds of stuff they've done. But and if they were in the Epstein files or not, right?
Homo sapien, man.
So Homo sapien says Jack Parsons, not John.
Yeah, Jack Parsons, that's it.
Okay. Jack Parsons. Yeah. He was like founder of Jet Propulsion's Laboratories, and he accidentally blew up in his lab.
Yeah, blew himself up.
But he
was doing stunts and stuff. He was making stuff for Hollywood too.
He started a cult. Right?
He didn't start a cult. He was just part of the Thelemic order.
Which turned into Scientology.
So was L. Ron Hubbard part of it during the 40s with them. They were together in it.
And you all know
he financed L. Ron Hubbard in the beginning to write his book.
And L. Ron Hubbard started Scientology, another cult. Not his
science fiction books, but his cult books.
Yeah.
Which I guess are one.
And Anthony and Casey, the thing about it's A.H. Macmillan, right? Faith on the March. Is that right?
Yeah, I got the book over there.
Yep.
Okay. So what I can tell you about him, right? Remember, you're talking about an organization that's very proficient at audience perception control of information, and it's pre-internet. So you've got a situation, to my knowledge, that there's no formal or substantiated accusation against A.H. Macmillan himself. So when you talk about concerns, yes, I acknowledge they tend to be anecdotal or retrospective. And remember, it's only now, you could say in recent terms, that we're starting to collate this information. So rather than saying it's evidence-based, with early watchtower leaders, when you get criticism, it usually centers on institutional culture and secrecy rather than documented personal crimes. And I think that's the distinction that really matters, and that we saw in Norway, is that until you actually have, let's say, evidence or an allegation that's substantiated in court or by a substantiation committee or board, it's not considered evidence. But as you get persons that are proficient in history, that information is coming up and you're starting to see patterns, and you can do an analysis that's retroactive. But I don't know if that's fair to state that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you
Yeah,
for
the thing with
explaining
A.H. McMillan, though, the only thing that I know of him that was really controversial was when they were living at the property and selling grave plots in Pennsylvania, where Russell's buried as well. And they supposedly he had relieved them of some money, is what Fisher had claimed.
Yes. Yeah. But then you can just say that that's business. You see, in a JW mindset, that's going, well, that's just faithful slave or faithful members or associates looking after the master's belongings, and those are the hazards of business, and it creates that kind of dissociation mentally. They just go, no, that's justified. That's unrighteous riches. Don't over, yeah. Don't overly concern yourself, so it gets brushed off.
Bill to sell that to the Masons. But
you had your whole miracle wheat and you had your oil fields. I mean, if you were a shareholder, you bought into the third watchtower, right? Remember, we were discussing that. And I think somebody mentioned in comments, watchtower historians did a really good job of that. If you want to get persons who've looked into that, they've done a marvelous job.
Oh, they have. Oh, their library, man. These people, there's these two guys, and they get together and they discuss it. They have letters written by Fisher's wife. I mean, they have everything, things that people don't have. And they have a library unlike anything I've ever seen.
And where did you see this?
That's on Paul and Jeff.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. And they sit there and discuss in depth a lot of things. They bought a lot of this at estate sales and things like that they talk about. So it's the most in-depth collection I've ever seen.
Cool.
Yeah.
So T-Man says that the Shepherd the Flock book, if an elder commits a gross sin and no one knows, and time has passed by and there's evidence of Jehovah in his life, he can keep serving. Yeah, I read that too. Like, oh, it's been a while. All right, just ignore it. I don't think that's happening to women. Yeah. Double standards, of course, right?
We've got an actual hard copy of the Shepherd in the Flock.
Happy heretic, hello to the Netherlands.
There is a divide about that thought, but you see, this represents the fracture that's going on in the branch. Because we had one of the anointed who got up on a regional convention and was the chairperson. And he came to me and he confessed that he was involved in an extramarital affair, and it was time back. And he was trying to swing with me that paragraph, Casey, that you mentioned. If years have passed and there's evidence of Jehovah's blessing, in other words, he's now on the assembly program, right? That would justify that he's got Jehovah's blessing.
Confessed.
Yeah. So he confesses to me. He says, "Oh no, this is what he did," and he's trying to use with me that paragraph that you're mentioning.
Yeah.
And I must say, he was removed, even though he was one of the anointed. He was removed, but it shows that in his case. I know this is going to sound really lousy, but the fact that his conscience bothered him and that he revealed it became the problem. So even, and now on service desk, they said...
Go ahead.
On service desk, they said year or years, so they calculate this 3 years thing. So that they come up with this rule now. But I noticed that in his particular case, there was a divide because it started to become known. It's about keeping these things under wraps. And in his particular case, he was removed. I hear that he's still in the congregation, but his privileges were removed. And
he was fellowshipped or just removed as an elder?
No, what's it reproved? Because if you go, I apologize for this thing, and I've gone to, I've spoken to my wife. I think he didn't want to involve his wife. He didn't want to talk to his wife, but eventually it got out and his wife got to know about it. But it was on the basis with some kind of repentance, that he was shown mercy and he was kept in the congregation. So he's still there, still, as
Okay.
far as I know. But yeah, there's a divide on that.
For sure. And okay, and then I guess probably if you're a woman, you're gonna have it's gonna be harsher rules.
Yeah, look, I can only speak from the files that I've destroyed or the cases that I've been involved in. Women were given very, very bad rap if they had a husband that was, say, for instance, an elder that was involved in wrongdoing, and he's part of the clique or the right clique. She's always in the wrong, whatever happens. He gets to keep the privilege. And I find that they're very, very manipulative. In my case, I was looking back 30 years and I'm going, wow, what a mess in this particular area. I'm having to go through these files and I'm going, I can't destroy most of these files. It's just so bad. The business practices, the scandals. I can't destroy this. They've got to be accountable for this rubbish. And women that were kept in this kind of liminal space where they can't progress, but their husband's thriving on the program. They've divorced, they're on the program, and things are going hunky dory for him. And then I learn, they go, Matt, stop having grudges against these people. Stop having grudges. He's paid his dues. He was removed as an elder. I said, was he removed as an elder for this and this and this? No, because if that had been the case, he would be liable for damages that he'd have to pay for his ex-wife. He'd be accountable for bad business, bad faith deals that his ex-wife was taking the hits for. So what he decided to do was he decided to go to the elders and confess to a lesser crime or a lesser infraction. He gets removed and it's like a big reset. I say, yes, but did he come clean on these other things? No. And I said, well, I tell you what, I was caught by this trick because I thought, finally the heat got to him, the conscience got to him, and he came clean. And I realized that this was just a PR stunt and he's tried to press the magic reset button. I don't know if that makes any weird sense to you.
No, yeah. It does.
Definitely.
Very much so. And I wanted to say hi, Maverick. He's asking what the topic is for today.
Freestyle.
Yeah, we right now we were just talking about, I guess, the way that the elders handle unfair ways in the judicial committees. I like what Stian says. I have repented of every sin I have committed once I finished doing it. You silly.
Well,
Monica says, I went to the elders about my young daughter about the foul names my ex was calling her. Man, she needed help.
That's crazy.
I was reproved for 6 months for using the exact words. They never reached out to help her. And that's how they are. It's terrible.
Yeah.
The governing nobodies and the shepherd of the flock book is idolatry. JW.org is idolatry. Actually, it's funny you say that because there's a guy on YouTube called the Heliocentric. That's the name of his channel. It's really good. And he's an atheist and he likes to go to these different churches and relate his experience, which is kind of interesting. And he has been with the Jehovah's Witnesses, and he went in one time. He went into the Kingdom Hall and he said, "Hi, I'm disfellowshipped," and he's never been a witness, right? And they think, "Oh, okay," but this is after the changes where you can say hello. And they're like, well, we have a new understanding, new light on the disfellowship one. So it's okay, you know, and they were nice to him or whatever. But it was kind of funny. And then he said that he actually did an analysis of the songbook of Jehovah's Witnesses. And he broke it down into percentages, and I'd have to go find the video, but basically on what each song was talking about and praising. Number 1 was governing body. Number 2 was Jehovah and then last was Jesus or something like that. So it's idolatry. Yes, it is idolatry, and they don't realize that they are idolizing the governing body. They're going to praise them and stuff in songbooks.
Guys, y'all have to excuse me today. I am so sleepy.
Yeah, I didn't get enough sleep.
No.
So apologies for that.
You know what, Anthony? That makes you human and more relatable. And I tell you what, I feel more comfortable hearing that. So thank you.
Yeah, good deal. But I couldn't sleep good last night. I tried.
Yeah, and it's we're on different time zones here. So here it's I know you're like way ahead of us, aren't you, Matthew? On time. It's like early.
You might be way ahead, but we're so far south, you can't get any further. You know what I mean? You'd just be the ocean.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. It's like 5 p.m. on Saturday for us. And you're like the next day, right? Are you in the next day yet? Sunday? Early morning?
Oh, yes. 8 minutes ago, we are now into Sunday. You're quite right. 22nd of February.
Okay. Oh, okay. So it's just like late night. Okay.
Yeah. Wow. And man, I see you on Rick Farron sometimes too. Like after our show, I'm like, wow.
Oh no, somebody's ahead of us. Here's it's 8:40 a.m. on Sunday morning. So this must be Australia, right?
It's got to be Australia, yeah.
Yeah.
Who is this?
Stian.
Oh yeah, Stian.
Oh, you've been drinking too much coffee. That's what Pepsi
I haven't today. That's the problem. I normally drink a whole pot of coffee a day.
Yeah.
Today I only had a fourth of a pot.
A whole pot. Goodness. At 10 p.m. UK time right now. So you're just a couple hours ahead of them, aren't you?
What's the bottom?
Yeah.
Maverick says something here. I wonder how many elders that were conducting a judicial committee were guilty of the same sin at the same time.
Maverick knows how this thing works very, very well. I mean, that's coming from a place of knowing the patterns, right? And the deeper you go and the more that you reach out to investigate these patterns, you find that it goes all the way to the top. And that's the concerning aspect, because your individuals that get into these roles of power positions, that's what happens. That's the concerning thing about institutions. That's the whole Epstein files. That's the whole royalty. That's the whole government involvement with these kind of things. And it's not unique to that particular arena. It's exactly like Maverick is pointing out or showing the pattern there. I can think about my instructors. I can think about persons that had authority over me. I can think about one who went to prison. And I can talk about that because you can see the public records in South Africa. You can go to the court system and you can look it up. I'm not saying anything on the air that can't be verified,
Yeah. Yeah, I know it's really it's amazing how judgmental they can be, because I know I knew of elders as well that were in judicial committees that had been disfellowshipped in the past, and they were now disfellowshipping others, and it's just like, so what do we do here? Taking turns disfellowshipping each other? It's so silly. Like, it's just not. It's just a really silly way to deal with wrongdoing. There's a better way.
No, my Lord.
It was a real weird way that he got exposed, because I was going in there so ultra sensitive from him. He had come in and gone, oh, Matt, you got to go into your conscience. And I mean, if I stepped on a worm, I was like on a phone and phoning up the elders and saying, listen, I've got to confess something. I've stepped on a worm. Or, I had Anthony, guess what? I had a little perverted thought that crossed my mind I timed it. It was 3 seconds. It was 3 seconds, Anthony, before I start thinking about baseball. But I feel so bad about it, I got to tell you. And I I got so ultra sensitive. I called him up.
Give you some time to think about it.
I know, right?
Yeah. I called him up and I said, yeah, I'm going through this. And he starts asking me intimate questions. And I'm going, no, it's resolved. But I'm just being ultra candid because of the way he had superimposed his conscience onto me. And another instructor said to me, you know what he's doing, Matt? He's actually, it's his conscience that's the problem here. And so in my transparency, it exposed his guilt. And I had no idea that that was what had happened, because he starts confessing with the elders that are present as I'm trying to reach out for catharsis, or I'm trying to say, well, let me get myself right. If there's any kind of hidden root, like David says, that's within me, let's bring it out. Like almost like a Scientology session where you hold the cans, and you're doing an audit. I viewed it as the same kind of thing. Go and confess and talk openly, and if anything comes out through the probing of questions, then there's the catharsis and you get the discipline. And I'm going, well, that's how you progress spiritually. But as I was doing it, they were going, these are just minor things, Matt. Who cares? There's nothing real serious. And he starts coming out with some of the things that he's done actively, not in the past, actively. And he was using his position in the organization, in the public speaking and the assemblies, to confess in like a third person. And that was clearing his conscience. And people are going, oh, he's warning us. He's warning. What a humble guy he is. No, he was embedding into his talks so that he could relieve his conscience.
That's great.
So I don't know, Maverick, if that you relate to that.
Yeah, and then T-Man says, my son got into trouble, had a judicial committee, and the coordinator that was going to keep helping him make progress was also disfellowshipped 6 months later, and he was sinning the whole time. So these are the people judging you. Yeah. And also Slim Chick says that the Borg talks smack about Catholics looking up to the Pope, but yet the governing body equates themselves with the Savior, because they say that they are co-rulers with Jesus in heaven, the 144,000. So if you're co-rulers, you're equal with Jesus, not beneath him.
Right.
Yeah, there's also this thing called imputed righteousness. Did you come across that, Casey?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I haven't.
So you're anointed that get vetted by the inner circle with a PQR, or a personal qualifications report, because there was that scripture in Revelation, keep testing these ones who call themselves apostles. Yeah. So when now they're being looked at for positions of oversight within the organizational structure, and they start getting excited and saying, yeah, you're approved, and yes, when you take the emblems, it's kind of like a reset every year. That's what it is. What invariably happens is they start talking about imputed righteousness as ambassadors. So if you think about an ambassador in the public sphere, they have diplomatic immunity. So whatever they do, if they're caught with alcohol, for instance, perhaps shopping on a Sunday when everybody else is at field service, for instance, can you think of anybody like that? You have imputed righteousness. Christ has paid for that, you see. And so that's how they get out of these, what could you say, the high standard that they apply to other persons doesn't apply to them because of imputed righteousness based on the ambassadorial role, that you cannot pin something like that to them. And if you do, then you're undermining Christ and you're undermining his sacrifice, and it's a faithless thing to do that. And if you're accusing him, then you're going to come under judgment. And he activates the congregation to start tightening the screws on you, and they start finding petty things, and they eliminate you, because you must respect Jehovah's theocratic structure.
Yeah.
It's a mind job, eh?
Yeah.
if you question things, then they think that, oh, you don't have faith.
Yeah, I've
Just
done a
'cause you have
whole
a
video
question.
on how they manipulate and use mind control.
Or Maverick, you're funny. Would the elders judge us if we only believed in science, like Nacho Libre says? Oh, if we did it Nacho Libre style, we'd have to baptize them against their will. Remember, that's what happened. What I forgot how did Jack Black worded it. I think he just said he like grabbed his head, the guy in Nacho Libre,
Yeah.
and he was like, "I baptize you" or something like that.
Oh.
In a bowl of water. So that's what you'd have to do. You'd have to baptize them against their will. How can you judge others if you don't have the proper training? Yeah, that's true. And right, because many elders are young and lack experience. And now even younger than ever, because the new rules are that you can be quite young to be an elder. Because they're trying to get older ones now, like 80 plus, they're like, get out.
Yeah, so it's an obedience override. It's obedience over a proper thinking ability that's wanted. So that's how you can have a 19-year-old coming in who hasn't experienced life. He comes in and goes, "Oh, Matt Gray, you raised a question about corporal punishment and the double bind. We don't understand what you're talking about. And it's the judgment of this body of elders to eliminate you and to, it really hurts us to do this, but this is what we're going to do because we love you."
Yeah.
And you're going, hang on, I've sent a letter to the governing body about this, and they've given me instructions about this, and go, we don't have to read it. We've already made the decision. Yeah. And go, well, you can answer that with the police because they God's minister, they the superior authorities, and if you cut off my witnesses and you cut off all the evidence, which you say isn't evidence, just going to present it to the police and you can explain it to them. That's what Norway has taught us now. Norway has taught us the value of documentation, irrespective if they accept evidence or not.
Do you know when the Norway ruling will be final?
Yeah. No. Maybe March. It's a guess. I haven't come across a definitive. We just got to wait and see.
Yeah, Stian was talking about like imagine a virgin 19-year-old elder counseling a 50-year-old couple about bedroom laws.
Yeah, well, I've seen it. I mean, I've seen. I've worked with elders where we've been called for somebody who's in a serious situation of unaliving themselves, and I've gone down there and pulled the rope off his neck, and the other elder is escalating the situation and driving the person to the brink. And I'm going, you've got to just back down, shut up and back down, because we've got a crisis situation. And he's going, no, I will never back down on what Jehovah's standard is. And this person, has done it to themselves, and going, I cannot work with this. This is reckless. It's absolutely reckless.
Yeah.
But that's the religion, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And young elders are easily manipulated too, right? That's what T-Man is saying. And then also, Jane says that your brain isn't fully developed. It's over the 25 years. I'd say it's older than that, actually. I think it's maybe even a little older. Some people say 25. I think it might even be like a little later, like 27, 28.
Depends, male and female. Males mature emotionally a lot later. Females mature younger.
So we'll just say an average of age 25, but still.
Yes. So put somebody that's young, let's even say 23, 24, put them into a service desk situation, heap them with authority and make them a fiduciary. And the ego is incredible because they get down on their knees if this even happens, and they thank Jehovah. So in their mind, they think that they're really blessed. And I hear them even going above governing body. I hear them yelling in the coordinator's office and and really out of hand. You go, did I just hear swear words here? And it's an incredible experience. And as I'm saying it, person can go, what are you talking about, Matt? Until you actually experience that happening at a chairman's office, you can't believe it. Because the way that information is controlled, it's like, no, it's a very holy place. Nothing like that happens. But when you're there, they go, oh, don't you know that Paul and Barnabas had an argument? Just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Ooh.
Yeah, they like to use that argument they had over those letters about, what was it, the people in Corinth about circumcision, wasn't it?
Maverick, you're funny. Oh yeah, that was the one. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's in the Bible. They like to talk about that one a lot.
yeah. And about the food they ate, nobody cared. I mean, it was like, if that's what you got to argue about, it has nothing to do with what they make it out. That's like Proverbs 4:18. They take one verse out of a whole chapter that's the wise King Solomon telling his sons how to live their life. And when you read it, you're like, that has nothing to do with New Light.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then someone else was mentioning, how the story where I think it's in John, about where there was a woman who was caught in the act of adultery, and then they wanted to stone her, and Jesus said, he without sin cast the first stone, and they all walked away. Well, Jehovah's Witnesses say that story never happened, and they took it out of their new Bible in 2013. But it doesn't mean it didn't happen. It's some say it's like maybe in the wrong place of the Bible or something.
Right.
But regardless of it, can you prove that it wasn't a true story or not? I mean, nobody else is taking it out. Why are they taking it out? Because I can't stand to think anyone would be forgiven of their sins. I think that's why.
Well, that's like the book of John. They misquote out of it all the time. And they'll use one saying, oh, well, this book of John was found this year, but they forget the oldest book of John ever found contradicts everything they say. Like, in the beginning, the Word was God, and the Word,
John 1:1.
The Word was God. And then they'll say, oh, but it's this, but the oldest version never found of the book of John. And I forget, what is it called? The something codex.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, it says the Word was God, not a God, God.
Hi, Booker T.
And that's the oldest version ever found. Goes back to about 100 AD.
And you see, Anthony, that was one of the things that happened when I was doing this consultation thing with writing desk and research. Was I said to them, okay, so Jeffrey Jackson has just released this thing that the purple Greek interlinear is no longer valid. It's no longer available and it's no longer valid. And let's go, don't we have copies of the Leningrad Codex and the Biblica Hebraica here at the branch? We've got actual photographs that are endorsed from source, and we use those things in the research department. Why don't we make that available to everybody? That would be phenomenal. Or point them in the direction of how to use that, because your Greek is richer than your Hebrew. It's much richer. But make available the Biblica Hebraica, and then let's start showing persons how one word can mean several words, not just that we select one in the translation, but show that this particular word is so rich it could mean all of these things, and then also show them the emoji aspect, that when you actually look at the words where they are placed, it makes a pattern as well, which creates another dimension to the text. Very, very rich information. But as soon as you do that, you start exposing things like Elohim and the monotheistic teachings. It exposes all of that. And
Star Root, Star Ray, Star Root.
Oh, right. That's it. Yeah,
Star or Crawl Steak.
Staros and Starus.
You got all kinds of stuff that starts popping up. So
okay, Jenny was saying that she thinks more Bibles leave it out. No, they don't. I have Jehovah's Witness Bible does. I have another version of a different Bible. I think it's like the new international one.
Leave what out?
The one about the woman committing adultery and being stoned, and he without sin.
Oh, gotcha.
Anyways, John chapter 8 is where it is. And then this other version of the Bible, it does have the story starting with verse 1. But then if you go to the JW Bible, it starts with verse 12.
But does the old version have it, the old book of John?
The very, very old.
Yeah.
So that's just one of the Bibles that's currently going on. We can check other translations and see. Especially like the older the translation, the more accurate, in my opinion. So, oh yeah, you got your New World Translation there, Matthew.
Yes, I do. This is the one that was released at the annual general meeting at 2013. I got this in Brooklyn.
Okay. I was there at my Kingdom Hall, and I got mine in person.
It's called Papyrus. It's called Papyrus 66.
Papyrus 66.
Yeah. So you're talking about John 7:53 to 8:11.
Dated back to 125 AD.
Okay. That sounds like the Star Wars remember release order 66.
Yeah. Exactly.
Let's see what it says.
Yeah, let's check. I actually have another we have an older Bible too, like a much older one. We can see what I'll have to
now that we're looking at stuff up, we'll see if anybody does a video about it this coming week.
Yeah, well, actually, Jehovah's Witnesses also have on their app another translations that you've seen. You probably have that, don't you, Matthew?
Yeah, they've started putting other translations on now.
Yeah, and I mean, they've had it. I'm just trying to see. I don't see it on here now. Oh, well. They used to have like the old King James. Okay. So the old King James Version does have it. Okay, cool. It's in the Ethiopian Bible, which is one of the oldest Bibles there is. So thank you, Happy Thoughts, for sharing that. Yeah, we're just curious to know what Bibles have it and don't have it. So it sounds like more.
The story of the woman caught for adultery.
Wait. Can you see that footnote there? Is it in focus?
I don't know. I'd have to.
Okay, I can read it out if it's not in focus.
Okay, go ahead. What does it say?
So, look, it's not in focus, I think. So let me just read it out. It says, 752 footnote, a number of ancient and authoritative manuscripts omit from verse 53 to chapter 8, verse 11.
And that is the Papyrus 66 does omit it. It's not there.
Oh, really? Well, then there's other Bibles that do have it. Why?
And that's it's also missing from the Codex Sinaiticus.
Okay. So we have several versions of the Bible that have the story, but then you have this.
It is, however, in the Codex Bezae, which is the oldest Greek translation.
So maybe that's why.
I give.
Okay, so it's not in the English Standard Version, and it's not in the New American Standard Bible, but it is in the Ethiopian.
It is in Ethiopia.
And then this one I've got, the Study Bible. I think it's a.
Which then it gets confusing because the Ethiopian Bible goes back to about 200 AD.
I think this one is the New American.
Who knows?
No, I mean New International Version. Well, okay, so apparently the problem is, yeah, it's a manuscript debate, like Maverick says. So, yeah. I mean, okay, maybe the thing is Jehovah's Witnesses may not be wrong on omitting that.
That's like cross. You can sit there and argue cross versus stake all day.
Yeah.
But you show me where it is clear, anywhere in the Bible, where it's actually very clear pinpoints that it's a cross, other than the fact Jesus speaks in the Hebrew text, pick up your cross and follow me. And it is the word for cross.
And also, Also, there is another thing which can be found in the JW Bible is they whenever I think I'd have to check, but I want to say it's whenever Thomas looked at his hands and he
Yeah.
saw the nails,
Right.
the nails, plural nails
Yeah.
from the imprint in his hands. It's just been one nail. If it was a torture stake, two nails.
Right.
So it was nails plural. That's one way to know.
But where
too.
you get them at is how they misquote things. They misquote major things, like misquoting Proverbs 4:18. That's like way out of context. Way out of context. There's some in Corinthians that's way out of context. I mean, it's a lot of verses over and over and over and over you can find that's just so far out of context, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But
So Maverick is spot on.
They'll argue facts like the woman, being stoned for adultery. They'll argue those simple things, and then they'll get you on these major doctrinal things because they'll say, "Oh, but we're right," and they take the verse out of context from the chapter. Because when you read the chapter, it has nothing to do with what they're saying.
Yeah.
And that's how they sidetrack you. So you're never catching on to what's really happening.
Yeah, I mean, look, they do go into what did you mention? You actually mentioned some of the actual manuscripts there, Anthony. You were talking about, was it Papyrus 66? Am I right?
Yes, it's not in Papyrus 66.
Yeah. So that's what, late 2nd, 3rd century. But then you've got Papyrus 75.
66.
Also, yeah. So it misses it. But then, okay, so then they go to persons like Origen, right? And they say, "Oh, your early Greek fathers."
Like Arius.
And this is where Maverick is spot on. He says it's a manuscript debate. So someone like Origen, the Greek fathers, they don't mention or comment on it. So it suggests
it was over.
Over what?
Arius and Arius.
Oh, they argued the Trinity.
Yeah.
But as far as like the story of the woman, I mean, I guess we can't. The point is, maybe we don't know the truth. I mean, some people say it should be in there, some don't, right?
It's hectic. I mean, the more you investigate these things, you even go into language structure. There's this one Hillman. Have you ever seen on Danny Jones Hillman, who comments about the Greek, and it's almost like go in there under advisement, because look, he provides a whole alternative that challenges the establishment just on the basis of the Greek words. And again, he's also presented with an antithesis as well for his work. But it does open up the fact that, as you go back further and further into the ancient languages, like my cousin's a professor of ancient Greek.
Oh, that's wow.
Yeah, actually got a professorship. My aunt is a professor of sociology and psychology, and on the other side, a professor of law.
But here's the thing. Has anybody ever stopped and thought about this?
But let's say goodbye to Time Will Pass. She's got to go.
See you, Time Will Pass. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Has anybody thought about this? The Jehovah's Witnesses are saying, "Oh, Babylon the Great, Rome, blah, blah, blah." They're all against anything that does with Christendom, right?
Yeah.
But are you aware that the canon that they go by, the Bible, was created by Christians? And Rome forced that. Rome put people to death. All those hidden books they found, those books, what they call the lost books of the Bible, all that stuff, they hid because Rome would have put them to death if they found them with them.
So what's the real problem in the JW society? The real problem is questioning it.
Well, here's the thing. Between 312 and 425, that time period when they sat down and said, "This is what Christianity is going to be, and you either go by it or you can be put to death. You'll be fed to the animals. This is what will happen." That time period is what set in stone what we have today, and throughout time it's changed a little bit. but it was Christendom that put that together. All those books prior to that are gone. A lot, Jubilees, all those are almost gone. They find bits and pieces of it.
Well, what about the Apocrypha?
The Apocrypha still, the
Does
Catholics
it have the Jubilee in there?
Oh, no, not the complete books like that. No, the Apocrypha.
What, doesn't have the book?
The Catholics kept it for a long time. I think they still even have it.
You know what? You know, we were watching something, an archaeologist on YouTube, and they were talking about the
Maccabeans and all that.
You've seen that there's an ancient Bible in Ethiopia currently. And if you go to Ethiopia, there's like these holy men guarding it.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that, Matthew? Yeah. And it's like a really ancient book. And they have 81 books of the Bible.
Right.
That's their Ethiopian book of the Bible or Bible.
It was so remote though, and that's what they tell you, that it couldn't be dictated on what they could and couldn't follow. Mm-hmm. And that's how it saved it, because it was being so remote.
Yeah.
And I forget who it was. It was one of the disciples, scribes that landed on that island, or landed on that coast, not island, but that coast, and taught them. Yeah, and taught them that.
Thomas.
Was it Thomas? I thought it was one of his scribes. Do you know? Thomas's scribe.
Maybe Matthew knows.
I'm still stuck on the last question, the Ethiopian biblical tradition. You know, when you're talking there, Anthony, I was thinking about, what do they call it? Pericope adulterae, right?
Okay.
That's the story of the woman caught in adultery.
Right.
So Anthony and Casey, you were mentioning the Ethiopian manuscript tradition and the pericope. So look, many early biblical manuscripts, they omit John 7, what did we say, 53 to 8:11, right. So, including the earliest Greek papyri and the major uncials like the Codex Sinaiticus and Vaticanus. I mean, that's where JW's relying on it. They're relying on that as the source, but it's why modern textual critics consider the passage likely a later addition to John's Gospel. But the Ethiopian version of the New Testament part of what is called the Ethiopian canon, that was what you were referring to earlier, or the Ethiopic Bible, it's counted among early ancient translations where the pericope is found. So when scholars look at this, they note, oh, hang on, the Ethiopic version contains the pericope adulterae, and it's one of the earliest witnesses that preserves the passage in its text tradition. Then enter into the picture your Lemba people, who are said to be your African black Jew. This complicates matters incredibly.
Yes, Solomon's descendants.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that helps or if it hinders, but you were looking for that person, Anthony. What's a little bit more information about it, just so that I can think about it?
It was one of the scribes for one of the apostles that landed on the coast there and taught them the canon, which they keep to this day. And I forget who it was.
One of the 12 disciples?
No, one of their scribes.
One of the 12 disciples, scribes.
Right, like John had his scribe, and of course we know Paul had his.
Well, he wasn't one of the 12 disciples.
That's why the Bible's all messed up now. It's because of Paul's letters.
That's a whole nother story, by the way.
Pseudo Paul.
Yeah, in the Vaticanus mentions the pseudo Paul, the writings they didn't match up with some of Paul's writing. So that's where they because if you read some of Paul's writings, it sounds a little misogynistic.
If Paul knew the Bible would be like this, he would have burnt most of those letters.
I don't know.
Yeah, I get. But I mean, I'm struggling a little bit, Anthony, because are you talking about Tarpim?
That might be it. Yeah, I know it was one of the scribes that landed on the coast there, and he taught them.
He doesn't know his name.
I can't remember.
I got to admit, I'm struggling with this one, Anthony. I know of Tarshish, which is the western seafaring destination mentioned in the Bible. You know, like Jonah, Solomon's fleets. You know, that kind of thing. And there was an Ethiopian Is it GS tradition, which is
I'll tell you real quick. Hold
Okay,
Who
so
landed on the coast in Ethiopia and give them the Bible?
so there was the Kebra Nagast, possibly, but you've got your Ethiopian GS tradition, which is
Christian Foundation to explain the Bible. Oh, the books of Enoch, Maccabees. Okay.
are you gonna
Shipwreck of Frumentius and his brother
Bartholomew and Frumentius.
Ecclesius?
Yeah.
Ecclesius. It says Ecclesius.
They were Greek-speaking Syrian Christians traveling by sea to India.
Because they reached Ethiopia.
Yeah.
So those are traditions around Matthew, Bartholomew, and Frumentius. Am I correct on Frumentius, or are you saying somebody else?
Yeah, that's it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Jane's gotta go. Bye, Jane.
Bye, Jane.
How about Jane?
Hi. Okay, Esty says, didn't Watchtower end up in court in the 80s because they changed scriptures?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Are you talking about in Scotland?
I don't know.
That's how we know who was involved in the Green Edition Bible.
Was their Bible back?
Can you hand me
Was
this?
their Bible ever considered like? The scholars never considered that to be an accurate Bible, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
JW Bible?
Right.
Yeah, you will find.
No,
Well,
he said no, they did not.
Yeah, but you'll find like one scholar that'll say something because it benefits
they got
something.
paid on the side.
No, it was benefit. This one Jewish guy said something because it benefited some of his work that he was doing, but the whole rest of them went against it.
Okay.
And they said he was doing it for selfish purposes.
Right. But like,
I read
other than
that whole
that,
thing
and
about
just
that not long ago.
accuracy, just based on accuracy, I don't think any Bible scholar agrees that it's an accurate Bible.
No.
I mean, it's kind of easy to disprove a lot of their stuff anyways in there. Just reading your own Bible, you can.
But you're remembering correctly, Casey. But that somebody who, I don't know who it was. Is it Stian that's talking about 1980? I know of something that happened in 1944 to about 1956. It was a Scottish court case in Edinburgh. It was called the Walsh trial, right?
Okay.
You remember that?
I do not.
So James Walsh was involved there. He was a Jehovah's Witness who appealed his conviction. Guess what? For military service.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So now the case, it ends up examining whether Jehovah's Witnesses were legitimate ministers of religion, because there's this whole conscientious objection thing going on. And it pulled in doctrine, it pulled in authority, and then Bible translation competence into the courtroom. So that's how that got there. So during the proceedings, Watchtower leaders were questioned, and you had Freddie Franz there, the oracle. He gets pulled in, and he's central, but he admits under oath that, oh yes, he's familiar with Hebrew and Greek, but when he was presented with it in court, he couldn't translate a simple biblical verse from Greek into English when asked. So he had to acknowledge that he had no formal university training in Greek or Hebrew. Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah, it's in Crisis of Conscience is what everyone's saying.
Yeah, that happened to Russell as well in the United States in Philadelphia.
Yeah. So on record, but that was 1954 to 1956. It implied Watchtower, their scholarly authority or lack of, and it refused to name translators. And you got to see why that happened. So the whole thing was about discouraging comparison with other translators. So the Walsh trial, basically what it did was it exposed the why they didn't name themselves and lack of credentials behind the NWT. And it made permanent damage of academic credibility. So that's why Watchtower later shifted from scholarly language to committee under God's direction language. Again, they played with the words. They said, this is a committee that did this rather than scholars that did this. So, yeah.
Okay.
Did you know that in their 1961 Greek, what is the book, the Bible, the Greek translations, or the study Bible with Greek in it?
Diaglot, interlinear.
In the footnotes,
The study Bible.
They acknowledge Johannes Graber and thank him for helping them with John 1:1.
Oh, wow.
What does that tell you? Well, you see, that's the whole egregore thing. Because one of the classic questions is, do you believe that the governing body are inspired of God? Do you believe in Jehovah? We say yes, because in the beginning was the Word, and the Word, became manifest in all of these things, which is where you get the idea of the egregore. And I don't mean to offend anybody. I'm just saying that that's where that idea comes from. Johannes Graber.
Yeah, I think that's them right there. Yeah,
because he did automatic writing.
Let's see.
He was an automatic writer.
Yeah, he used his wife as a medium.
That's right.
And he would have seances and write his Bible. Let's see, I've got it somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe it's right. Hold on 1 second. I'll tell you where it's at.
Maverick is talking about Ellen White when she was supposed to have the gift of tongues, and when she went to China and got seriously embarrassed. Yeah, very similar. I mean, you start seeing the patterns, right? Yeah. Desert Has Water says emphatic diaglot.
Oh, there we go. Johannes Graber. So
you're praying, Anthony, your brain's in good gear to be able to recall all this stuff. I mean, I'm trying to have to shift some serious gears remembering these things.
Yeah, I do a lot of research on this. Like, April the 1st, 1983 is when they recanted and said they didn't even know about Johannes Graber, when in 55, 56, and 57 they posted things about him.
Yeah,
saying that they knew him and how
it's just clever wording. In other words, some of them didn't know, but some did.
Yeah, well, they posted a long article in 55 and 56 on what an evil man he was.
Yeah.
In the Watchtower. I can actually tell you which ones they are if you want to know and look them up. But let's see, 1971, Aid to Bible Understanding. They credit Johannes Graber in there for two different things, for John 1:1 and Matthew 50, whatever it is.
John there was a question from readers that addressed this. I can't remember where it is, but I could find it.
Yeah.
But I mean, do we really want to excuse it? It's just that Spin City,
Yeah. The Word pamphlet that come out in 1962, page 5, credited Johannes Graber with John 1:1. The Watchtower, September the 15th, 1962, said they referenced him as a scholar when he never was a scholar. And John 1:1. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Aid to Bible Understanding, they referenced him several times. Page 1134 and page 1669. And then in the Watchtower, October the 1st, 1955, they said that he was a man that was exorcising demons by having seances. Now, think about this. They're praising him in 61 on, but in 55 and 56, they're saying he's evil and wicked.
Uh-huh.
And the Watchtower, October the 1st, and this is still on JW Library, by the way. October the 1st, 1955, page 603, paragraph 33. And then the Watchtower, February the 15th, 1956, page 110 and 111. They plainly state that he was a spiritist and he was following demons.
Yeah. The reference that I've got is Watchtower 1983 4/1 questions from readers. I don't know if I'm permitted to read it. Can I do that?
You can read that. That's where they say that Go ahead and read it. I've got it here too. Go ahead.
Do you want to just read it there, Anthony? I don't want to steal your thunder.
No. Go ahead, because I've already passed by it. Yeah. But that's where they say they didn't even know him, or knew what he was about until they printed that book.
But let's keep respecting the audience here, because remember, this is just how it's spun. That's all it is. It's just a spin. So you got to go in with the usual thesis, antithesis for synthesis. But the question was, why in recent years has the Watchtower not made use of the translation by former Catholic priest Johannes Grieber? It says the translation was used occasionally in support of renderings of Matthew 27, 52, 53, John 1, as you rightly said, Anthony, as given in the NWT and other authoritative Bible versions. But as indicated in the foreword to the 1980 edition of the New Testament by Johannes Grieber, the translator relied on God's spirit world to clarify for him how he should translate difficult passages. It is stated his wife, a medium of God's spirit world, was often instrumental in conveying the correct answers from God's messengers to Pastor Grieber. The Watchtower has deemed it improper to make use of a translation that has such a close rapport with Spiritism. The scholarship that forms the basis of the renderings of the above-cited text in the New World Translation is sound, and for this reason does not depend at all on Grieber's translation for authority. Nothing is lost, therefore, by ceasing to use his New Testament. But remember what Russell said about a truth said by the devil is still a truth.
That's absolutely correct, because Russell said that, and which goes against Christianity, but that is what Russell had stated. But in 1955, 56, 57, they were talking about how wicked and evil he was. In that article you just read in 83, they claimed they didn't know that he was doing that until later, but they actually knew in 55, 56, and 57 when they said he was fighting demons.
Look, Anthony, this is what I've discovered in the when it gets to that level, right? They'll say, "Oh, we've heard a rumor about this," and what they'll do is it's cherry picking for the public image. So if there is a slight variation, they'll go, "It's a total lie," so they'll deny it.
Right. See, that's the thing. They knew it, and they were very blunt. Like, go read those articles, 1955. I'll give you the dates, and go read them. You can see how blunt they were about how much they knew about his writings. And they said that they even read his book. Because, see, he wrote a book prior to translating his Bible about using Spiritism.
It's just Norway all over again. I mean, you listen to Anders Risdal and you go, is this guy a Jehovah's Witness? He isn't, but he might as well be, because the way he talks is exactly how your top tier justifies that.
And here's the book I was telling you about that they footnoted him in on page 31. It's 1961, New World Translation of Christian Greek Scriptures. Forward, page 31, states Grieber's 1937 New Translation for John 1:1, and considers Grieber a scholar.
Wow.
So from 55, 56, 57, they said he was practicing demons. But in 61, they footnoted him here and said he was a scholar.
Why did they flip-flop? Always flip. Now they don't want to acknowledge him at all.
And that's you can go look it up. It's the 1961 New World Translation of Christian Greek Scriptures, forward page 31, and it states Grieber's 1937 New Translation for John 1:1.
Well, that's a good question, Casey, because now you ask yourself, where did they get this Angels and Women book from? Well, that was from Ciola, which was written by Smith. How was that produced? Under automatic writing.
Well, here's another one. In 1962, the Watchtower, September the 15th, page 554, uses Grieber to support their God rendering, a God. 1962, the Word pamphlet, according to the John, which booklet, page 5, uses Grieber to support the Word was a God. 1963, A scripture is inspired of God and beneficial. Page 262, page 226. Listed Graeber's translation in the Bible version of John 1:1. Graeber
So here's a question: when did the governing body stop using tarot cards? Because they tell everybody
they used them. I know that there's pictures of tarot cards with Russell. I saw that.
Yeah.
I was reading through there, and I was like, wow, that's a picture of a tarot card. And I saw one with
that's right.
Rutherford. Yeah.
Oh.
Your first watchtowers were the tarot card called the Tower. If you take a look at the lightning and the golden dawn coming up, that's the tarot card called the Tower. There's even got the water in front with the mountain. It's just like the tarot card. It's the same thing. And then 1984, the Paradise book has got it, and they're using it as a warning example. But that was just an insertion of the same card that was on the front cover of the Watchtower. And you know this whole thing about the stick, the walking stick, and is shaped like an F.
Yeah.
Facebook uses the same thing, and it's the F with the little cross across it. Well, go and take a look at the old watchtowers, and you'll see that that's there with the parapet of the watchtower. But that's a corona. All they've done is they've just updated the symbolism and just slightly rearranged it on the watchtower, but it's the same symbolism that's come across. And they're going, oh, we don't use that symbolism. Well, whenever they use that argument, you say to them, well, up to date now, on your website, you use the inside story, which is a current production for your Gilead graduates, and you're still using Masonic symbolism.
Right.
You've left it all behind? No. Last AGM, as you walked into the AGM, there was the pyramid with the needle, Cleopatra's needle, and the pyramid, or one of the needles that was there as you walk into the annual general meeting. That was this year. So when you're walking into the doorway, there's the pyramid right above your head.
Yeah. All he needs is the all-seeing eye, which Russell and Rutherford used. Oh, here we go. In 1969, The Kingdom Interlinear, translation of Greek scriptures, page 1139, cites Graeber in the appendix. 1971, Aid to Bible Understanding, page 1134 and 1669, cites Graeber for both John 1:1 and the tossing out of bodies in Matthew 27:52. Which Graeber was the only one who had ever translated this to the tossing upright of bodies.
Okay. Yeah.
And in 1975, the Watchtower, October the 15th, page 640, uses Graeber to explain what happened to the bodies in Matthew 27:52 in the tombs Jesus passed. And then in 1976, the Watchtower, April the 15th, page 231, final citation of Graeber as a scholarly authority for Matthew 27:52.
Yeah, and Maverick said that Ellen White, she also supposedly had the gift of tongues, and when she went to China, she got seriously embarrassed.
Well, Ellen White she had an excuse. When she was a young girl, she got hit with a rock. She was a Millerite. She followed Miller.
Yeah, but she was still following false prophecy.
That's correct. But somebody threw a rock and hit her. Not only did it give her some deformities that she had, but after that, she started having these visions.
Oh.
So she had brain damage.
Okay. People followed that.
Yeah.
You know how Watchtower always has these weird symbols, right? Somebody posted does anybody recognize this symbol? Right here.
What is that? I can't see it. Oh, hang on. Let me
try to get.
Let me open it up. Oh yes. Yes.
So it's the.
It's in a lot of Sophia and Caleb videos.
Yeah, it's like the symbol for.
Is that the big pizza? Pizza.
This is Sophia's bed.
I don't know if what you're allowed to say over the public though.
Yeah, I can't use that word.
No, this is her bed frame. Looks the same.
Yeah.
And then look at her backpack.
Yes. There's more to this, though, but
Why are they putting this in here?
It might create a bit of trouble for your channel, though, if we talk about it.
Yeah.
But
it's just all these subliminal messages and subliminal things. They're always doing that.
They're obsessed with penises. That's a fact.
Yes.
Jeez, that's ridiculous.
You named it, Anthony.
They are, man. They're obsessed with them. It's like,
I know.
I never thought about it until I started looking through some of the stuff. It says, "Oh, this image shows this," and I was like,
I don't really see
Rutherford all the way up.
Part.
I was like,
there's another level to this that goes beyond that.
Obviously,
I realize that you've got a current a person who was involved in blackmail on high levels. That is big news at the moment, but it goes above that. There's another level that's just, it's incredible stuff. But it goes into your spirit realm, and it goes into what Trump has said about the extraterrestrial disclosure story. I mean, remember, for one person, an angel is, for one person, a descriptor. For another person, an alien or an extraterrestrial could be the same thing. It's just an exchange of vocabulary, right?
Right. Yeah, it's I've got my personal beliefs in that, but the thing is with the watchtower is they hide, they dodge, and they reroute people every time they start talking about reality, the things that are really going on, the things that they have done, the scriptures they have misquoted, the writings that they have used from people like Grieber and other people. And when you start talking about it, man, they just don't want to, they run.
Yeah, you see, remember, humans also have this dream state. So, your subconscious and your dreams, I mean, it can come up with wild things, from erotic to blood to gore to sacred to profane. It doesn't, and when people are in a hypnagogic state, they can perceive all kinds of things in whatever culture, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dreaming.
Hi, Born JW.
Yep. Hey, man. The
Hello, Born.
What gets me with that is the how they can just try to direct and reroute people to keep them away from that. And then when you mention it, that's whole light or whatever. But at the same time, they say they're God's chosen organization. They speak for Jehovah God. It's passed down from Jehovah God to Jesus, right to the governing body, down to the circuit overseers, through the watchtower, and out to the congregation. And you're like, well, if you're that bold in saying that, then how can you be God's organization and be wrong?
Yeah. Well, I like Happy Thoughts. Sheila from UK says, so many people are seeing all the hidden symbolism, all thanks to the internet. WT can't keep a lid on it. We are now so well informed about psychology and a lot more about how the mind works and the dream state and hypnagogic states.
Hey, Ultra.
Yep, MK Ultra. There you go.
Mind control.
MK Ultra was around for a long time, and just so you people know, Rutherford was impressed with it. It was
he became a cult leader.
Well, he was impressed with the Chinese version, which was first. Yeah. And you can Google mind control, the Chinese will pop up first. And there was a lot of books during that era about it. And that's where, like, A Brave New World, 1984, all those ideas started coming out, was during that time period. Because people don't realize
that's interesting information, Anthony.
Do what?
I said that's very interesting information. So Rutherford, there was a connection to him looking into the Chinese mind control.
Yeah, I mean, he mentioned it in a few of his magazines. So, it's not like he didn't know. He was aware of it, and it works. It very well works. The government experimented with it from the 50s. Well, probably before that, but they admit from the 50s.
Yeah.
Up until
I think about Gurdjieff and Uspensky and the Fourth Way in Fontainebleau in Paris. I mean, that was hugely, yeah, it was hugely influential, and just seeing how they ran things from the institute in Fontainebleau. I mean, that was 1950s, around that era. Yeah.
Well, there was a lot of things that went on. They experimented with LSD and the effects it had on mind control.
Yeah.
Tried marijuana, the effects it had on mind control, just different drugs, trying to figure it out. And then they realized, you know what, these things do affect it, but just put people in a room, lock them up, or put them in a cult and feed them the same garbage every single day mentally, and tell them when to think, what to say, what to do. You control them if you can make it spiritual. And spirituality will rule your brain because you try to do good for God.
Because you want to go to a good place.
And that's where you got to be real careful, because spirituality, as human beings, we need that. But you got to make sure you've investigated it in the right mind, and that's hard. That's why I've researched Christianity or spirituality my whole life, because what's really true? What is the truth? I love Babylonian beliefs. I'm very obsessed with those because it's the most ancient.
Because they're old. Yeah.
Or the actual ancient Iranians, the Zoroastrians. Yeah, they had one God. That's where Jews actually come from theirs. But
what the monotheistic God idea?
Yeah, Zoroastrians.
Yeah. Okay, Maverick's saying that they're if you go to this website, JW Facts, and that you can see the all-seeing eye in C.T. Russell's photo drama.
Well, he was a Mason, so yeah.
Well, that's on our dollar bill.
Well, that's because the United States was founded by a bunch of Masons.
Yeah.
Well, that was Eisenhower, Casey, and his parents were JWs.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but the all-seeing eye with the pyramid goes back even further. It goes back to the $10 gold piece.
Okay.
Masonic symbols.
Yeah, it's a Masonic symbol. But yes, you're right. They were followers of Russell.
Yeah.
They actually liked him a lot.
Well, I've shown you my books from the writing desk from the organization, hey, with the stamp.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've shown you the actual official books that we used to produce the watchtowers. So they were scheduled to destroy them, and I managed to save them.
Really?
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's like the yearbooks. Like a lot of watchtowers are hard to find now. You used to find them on eBay all the time. Now some of them are getting very hard to find. And some of the yearbooks that people don't think are important are getting almost impossible to find.
Yes. I showed you the first watchtower, hey?
What do they call it?
Watchtower?
Yeah.
Bound volumes.
By the way, you know what? If you have CD-ROMs, you can just hold on to that, because that would have all the information.
I like having the original that was, I mean, this was used in the writing department. This has got the actual watchtower stamp on it. It's not an ordinary book. This was used by the research department.
Where's my constellations?
Okay, show it to us, Matthew.
Okay, hold on.
Hold on, let me go grab something real quick. I'll be right back, Matthew.
Me too. I'm taking a duck.
Okay. All right. I guess I'll take over. It's good. It's gonna be crickets from here on out, everybody. Just kidding.
No, it won't. She's good. Don't let her fool you.
I'm just gonna talk about Nacho Libre from now on.
I love that movie.
That and Dumb and Dumber, right?
I don't like that.
Where's Maverick?
I do like Nacho Libre though.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Stan says I got algorithms again. Mentioning Masons. And FDR. Yep. That's how it works, I guess. But Dehydrated Nurse, you mentioned that Sophia had butterflies on her pin and on her school backpack, which I think are you talking about that symbol I was showing you? which makes you, it's kind of scary if you think about it, like all of these images that are, and that's what we're talking about here now is images and the Masonic symbols and penises and the other, just all, and sometimes scary images and stuff. And it's like, what is their point in doing this? If anyone has any idea, what is the true reason why the writing department puts these images in the literature? What are they trying to tell us? So if anyone has any comment on that, I'd love to hear your answer to this. T-Man,
I had to bring these upstairs anyway.
T-Man says, what about C.T. Russell's original headstone? Oh yeah,
It's gone. They destroyed it
they took it off
and they crushed it.
because they were embarrassed.
Yeah, they crushed it.
Okay, and here is little Joey. Someone was asking about him because he's so beautiful.
Collar.
Mm-hmm. And he's got a new collar on.
Which you take off.
This
is Cheetah. Oh, you got one too. What's that?
Joey.
Can you see that?
And he's got an air tag too. See? It says
I can't see.
well, I know.
Casey, how good's your eyes?
Good. I just need to probably look at it from, do you have your
Here, put these on.
No, do you have your phone that I can? Let's see. Okay, hold on. Something about the prophecy, something of the prophecy.
I'll read it to you. It's the property. This book is the property of Watchtower Bible and Tract Society.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
Okay, so this is the original. This is the original bound volume. So these were used on writing desks. So this has actually got a collect because we had our own book bindery. So this was bound by our book bindery, but it's got your first Watchtower, but it's becoming very fragile.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I've got to be very careful with this because it's very old and very fragile.
Oh, what year is that one?
1879 when it was incorporated.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. As you answered my question, I was wanting to know why all these little weird images, form of hypnosis.
Oh yeah,
like mind control.
I know that book.
That makes sense.
Divine Plan of the Ages.
Yep. Wow.
And then I've got this. Many of these were saved.
Pastor
They were
Russell
scheduled for
Sermon.
destruction.
Oh.
They wanted to
You know
destroy
that's a
them.
hard one to get right there, Matthew.
That one is worth a lot of money right there, I bet you.
It is because you can't never find it. I've tried to find it.
What year did it come out? Was it written? Does it
Let's
say?
take a look.
How did you depends on that?
How did I get it? With great difficulty, trust me.
Well, they're worth a lot of money. You could probably make a lot of money on eBay.
At Divine Plan of the Ages.
I think we saw that book on eBay for how much was it worth?
I can't remember. You just have to look it up. Some of them sell for quite hefty prices.
Yeah, some of them are worth a lot of money.
I can't see the date when this came into production.
Okay.
The thing is, I've got to be so careful because they break in my hands.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, you do have to be careful. I don't want you to damage.
But here's an interesting one that came from our branch.
The Divine Plan of the Ages, studies in the scriptures.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh,
But let me tell you where this came from. This came from Fort Worth Bible students.
What?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Wow. Okay, I see that. Is that did the JWs distribute that?
So the question is, what are they doing distributing this, or what are they doing with this in research department?
No doubt.
Yeah, what were they doing with it?
Yeah, because this came straight out. This came straight from our writing desk.
Maverick has the first edition of the Divine Plan. That's pretty cool.
Check this out. Have you ever saw one of these?
What, this one?
What's that one?
I have to throw this away.
That's the finished mystery, and I've got this set, and I've got the red set, and I've got the blue one as well.
Oh wow, okay.
I've also got
Okay.
the blue one. But remember, these come from writing desks. So this one's even signed by the coordinator. This has got the coordinator's signature. I'll just show you very, very carefully, and then I'm going to put it away because it can be damaged very, very easily.
Graduate. That's like this thing.
Very nice.
So that's George Phillips. He was the coordinator. He was sent from Glasgow, Scotland, to deal with the Renegade Watchtower organization in Africa.
Oh, wow.
A renegade one, huh?
Yes. Which had become militant because they were trying. You remember the whole idea was to indoctrinate the indigenous population for cheap mining operations. Because when you were talking about Macmillan and selling the land for graves, they were coming to Africa and they were teaching the indigenous to read and write. And then they were teaching them Christianity or their version of Christianity. And then they were paying them very, very little for mining, as laborers for mining.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Exporting all the minerals out of Africa. Yeah.
Now, who was doing this?
So your missionaries and your Bible Students Association and Jehovah's Witnesses were doing this. Because remember, they wanted to have cheap labor.
Have you ever saw Constellation, Matthew?
Yes, I have, and I can't get them. If that's an original, that's fabulous. See if you can get the Golden Age.
I might have it, but check this out.
He's got it in a plastic bag to keep it.
Yeah, I keep it in a plastic bag. So.
Yeah, fabulous. Hold on to those. Never destroy them.
Yeah, because it's loaded with some crazy stuff. But check this out. I don't know if you're familiar with these books, but whoa.
Okay, don't put them there.
Let's see.
Okay, now who wrote these?
Rutherford.
Okay.
So Maverick, that overlapping, by the way, those are the little booklets. Yes, those are fabulous. Those.
Wow. I've got a whole stack. It's
trying to explain the overlapping from the early books. Oh my goodness!
So Maverick, remember that those laws that George Phillips helped to argue in South Africa are still applicable in modern times. So they adjusted those laws in 1948, but based upon those laws, it created stability here for Watchtower in modern times. But the problem is that they have shown that they have gone against what they tried to sort out in litigation in 1948. So they've essentially shot themselves in the foot, meaning that they would have to relitigate, or you have to say to them, well, why did you send your representative from Glasgow in 1948 to separate and disassociate from Watchtower back then when it became militant? So it's very, very important history, very, very important history, because they took Watchtower information and produced a whole other organization based on that was militant, that went from Cape to the middle of Africa, Congo areas, because of the mining that was going on. And that's how you got independence of many African countries. They declared independence, and they put in African indigenous presidents, and that's what happened. So it's very, very important history, this. Very important.
This is...
Remember, Robert Mugabe in Zimbabwe was put into prison with Jehovah's Witnesses. Mandela's first wife was a Jehovah's Witness. So this is very important history. So even though it's old information, it gives us a window into how a lot of the laws that shape our society now came about. And Watchtowers had big influence with those things.
This is 98 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
Those are great booklets, Anthony.
Rutherford.
Rutherford wrote it in what year?
1928.
Oh, yeah.
So I hope that supported you, Anthony, and I haven't rocked the boat.
No. Missionaries make great spies, like bush ships on a chessboard. That's Born JW says.
Yeah. No,
Yes, because they incentivized.
You're right. So Pepsi says some of the artwork would make great T-shirts.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, because there's no copyright on the early stuff, eh? That copyright. Yeah.
Judge Rutherford.
Good stuff there.
It says Judge Rutherford uncovers 5th column.
Yeah, 5th column. Yeah.
Oh, what's that?
I don't know. It's something come out in the 30s.
Something that is old light.
I've got stacks of these, man. Like you can see, there's stacks there. I don't know, bunches of them in there.
Yeah, lots. See, he got.
Here's one, 1938.
Oh, there's a watchtower symbol on the back.
Oh yeah, the watchtower on the back. It's not as old as some of these. I've got 1924. Right.
Yeah.
There.
Dashes more freedom.
Those in 1924 are crazy.
1939.
So Rutherford, all he was doing was he was using a political propaganda term to frame his opponents as hidden enemies. That's what he was doing with that 5th column thing. He wasn't exposing a real proven conspiracy.
Does people realize how much stuff he printed? I had no clue until I started looking into it. And I knew the Rainbow books. And then I found out that was just a fraction.
He wasn't the actual writer, though. It was Franz and persons like that. And a lot of women, too.
You know those booklets? There's over 50,000 booklets in his time span. That's insanity.
Yeah.
Who does that? I mean, you're really trying to brainwash people.
Yeah.
He had people writing 24/7, man. He's worse than L. Ron Hubbard.
When did they start using the word cross? I mean, torture stake.
1931.
Because in this book in 1939, he mentions cross.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I did not know he mentioned it in 1939.
He just mentioned it as a scripture in the Bible.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm just reading it.
Let me Google it. I'll tell you.
So, Anthony, I'm just trying to think about that 5th column comment and just trying to make it safe for your... Yeah, just trying to make it safe for your channel. You know, when Rutherford used the term 5th column, he was trying to describe clergy and political systems opposing Jehovah's Witnesses. That was his slant. So it wasn't an exposed conspiracy, but it was wartime propaganda frame that he was using to try and titillate the audience. Yeah, and it was reinforcing his persecution narrative.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. When did Jehovah's Witnesses reject the cross?
Well, Rutherford was the one who came up with the no cross and started the torture stake thing.
Jehovah's Witnesses phased out the use of the cross and the crown symbol. Oh, the cross and the crown symbol in 1931.
What about Jesus
and it says started phasing out the use of the word cross in 1936. However, still in the fascist book, he mentions cross in multiple pages.
This book here.
Anthony and Casey, I'm just going to excuse myself for a moment. I want to just put these books back into the storage because they're very, very fragile. And the storage just keeps them preserved a little bit longer. So please excuse me.
Of course.
Okay, definitely take care of those. Those are very valuable.
Hi, Dave. We got a Dave here. I have most of the old publications back to the late 1800s downloadable at the link in my info. Cool. Wow. Well, that's good to know. Is this on YouTube? Let's see. At the link in your info, are we talking like a YouTube channel? That's your name. I'm going to look you up. Dave Aldridge.
That name sounds familiar.
There's somebody named Dave Aldridge fishing. That's who you're thinking.
No. This I'm familiar with this person.
I don't know. Well, I don't know, but if you happen to have
what is your
info?
Where we can find you.
What info is this?
Because I've heard this before.
It would be good to know if we could download this. If you could provide to get the
Or maybe he
publication.
wants to keep it private. I don't know.
But
And just email us.
yeah.
God in the state.
Okay, well, where is your link located?
What does that say there?
Is it like a YouTube channel, or where do we find it? The occult has to tell you the truth. It's the laws of the spirit world.
What's that stamp say there where they stamped across there? Jehovah's Witness. What?
Let's see what this says. Jehovah's Witnesses something unity. I don't know.
Yeah, that's something I've never saw before.
Can you, yeah, you can post links here for sure. In the chat it will show up. Let's see. I would have to
Canopy?
I don't know. So
Canopy?
I'm going to go into the channel here.
Canopy. Unity.
And see if I can find.
Oh, unit.
Here we go. Okay. So, Dave, if you want to share this in the chat, you should be able to do it. And then something we can click on. So,
there's Maverick
in here.
Or not Maverick, but Matthew.
Wait, you go put your books up?
Howdy, I've got some more toys here. Don't know if you know what these things are. But these are the special recordings.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
That'll be worth something.
I've got managed to save these, so there's quite a few of them. But
oh my!
No, they were burning and destroying these things, eh?
Yeah.
What's the name of Dave's channel?
Hey, Matthew, question for you.
Is that just
with a rubber stamp on the front of this book right here?
Yeah.
This is a 1939 book, but it says Jehovah's Witnesses Canopy Unit. What does that mean? Stamped on the front.
Can you spell it out for me, please, Anthony? I haven't quite got it, and I can't quite see it.
See, it's Jehovah's Witnesses hyphen Canopy, C-A-N-A.
Let me take a picture and enlarge it.
C-A-N-A-R-S-I-E, it looks like.
Let me see. I'll just...
Canopy, hey?
Yeah, unit. I see the word unit very clearly.
That's all.
What the heck is that? I never saw that before. I just realized it was there.
It's a good question.
Unit.
Let's see if we can find that, Anthony. I can't tell you offhand. But Canopy unit, that was a real watchtower structure, not a rumor. So the Canopy unit was a special administrative production unit of Jehovah's Witnesses that was located in Canopy, New York during the mid-20th century. So it functioned as part of the Brooklyn Bethel complex, but with a distinct role. Printing and logistics, large-scale production of watchtower literature, storage and dispatch of books, magazines, and tracts, special assignment Bethel work such as housing, management workers assigned to heavy industrial logistical tasks, and it was often more regimented and less visible than front of the house Bethel role. So internal discipline and control, it got a reputation for that among some ex-Bethelites as a very difficult place. Personality clashes, people were sent there when they fell out of favor. If
anyone wants to go,
so that book's pretty, that's worth keeping hanging on to.
Yeah, that's very, very important. So so why it's sometimes spoken about hush hush, there's no evidence that it was a secret intelligence unit or anything, a juicy conspiracy or anything. But a lot of persons that have come out of that say, look, it was very authoritarian, it was less prestigious and very, very isolating, more so than Bethel Department. So it was where somebody was assigned if they were kind of in trouble,
This one's from 1932. The
So
final
let me
war
say something real quick.
has the
Dave
same thing.
Aldridge has okay, I see his channel, and it's kind of hard to find, just by his name. But if you put in that Dave Aldridge 7608 in YouTube, and then you click on the PDF files, you can download all of these links of information that he has. So thank you for sharing that.
Keys of Heaven.
Gotta sneeze.
1932.
Can't say bless you, right?
You did.
Okay, so
when I first met her, I did that.
Yeah.
She said, "Don't say that."
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he's got a lot of information on here. It's really cool. So thank you. You might want to
send him some of these to upload or upload.
No, this is information that he has that we can download from his channel.
Sweet, we will do that.
And it's a PDF.
But always keep the hard copy, because they say that the PDFs have been adjusted by apostates. So to actually have a physical evidence, and what did you say? Some of these things are accruing in value.
Yeah, very much so.
But
like all these books here that Rutherford printed in the 20s and 30s, like my oldest one is 1924, but I've got all the way up to 1938. Well, 39. And then I don't know what's this. Oh yeah, the Constellation is 1939.
Yeah, those are very valuable, Anthony. You've got some great stuff there. Between you and me, we could probably open up a parallel JW.
I know, man. And then I've got all of the Rainbow books, which I think a lot of people have those. I've got some of Russell's, got Faith on the March. Of course, everybody's got that, I think.
We could probably open up another splinter group in Africa here.
Well, if we teach people to speak Spanish, man, we got an elder's manual that we could use.
Yeah, we use all their old information and say, look, we will give you the real education. This is how you control people through 145 years or whatever.
Yeah.
What do you want?
That elder's manual, right?
In Spanish?
Yeah.
Why?
But I think these things are still important. Look, there's a lot of fracture and there's a lot more information that's out. I mean, Mama Sue has just given us that YouTube reference, but the awareness is such now. It's basically out in the open, especially after Norway, and that's how you started the show today. Was the whole Norway thing? It's a big exposure. Whatever happens.
Right. That one's in Spanish, but
yeah.
But as the Bible says, all things done in the dark will eventually come to the light.
You can buy these off of eBay now. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
You can get them for free from our house.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say a coordinator. A coordinator, man, you're in like Flynn. Mm-hmm. Find one that's
my father was the coordinator, so he's got a whole stack of them.
I got the original Bible story book right over here.
You find a coordinator, Ben, they'll give them to you, They're
my father was one for 20, 30 years. They sent us boxes of these things.
Yeah.
I've had this one since I was 5 years old.
Cool.
You can see, it's kind of...
Oh, my book of Bible stories.
But don't let the Russians see that, Casey.
Oh, really? They don't like that book.
That's what
started
wasn't it?
Well,
that's a banned book in Russia. Yeah, it's.
Really? What did they not like about it?
Let's look at the facts here, Matthew. You don't go to Russia and start talking crap about the Russian Orthodox Church. That's insanity, man.
Yeah, mine's got the old colors in it. I think they have updated ones, and so it's still got some in black and white.
Yeah, that's what they're doing at the meetings now is the update version, but it's. The whole idea was to make it more clinical, and it isn't.
No.
Yeah.
It's funny. Even the part that's in color is not very bright, is it?
Yeah. Helen says Rutherford was fascinated by the occult.
Rutherford was, yeah, he was.
Copywritten in 1978. That was the year I was born.
Manchurian Candidate. That was that movie that a couple of weeks ago we were talking. I was trying to think of that had Frank Sinatra in it.
Oh,
That was a great movie. It talked about mind control as well. The Manchurian Candidate. But if you'll listen to the tapes, I guess when they unalived themselves at Jonestown with Jones talking, you'll hear him telling the head of the CIA to get out of there. That's pretty damn bad. He said, "Will somebody get him out of here?"
Let me get that dinosaur flood picture.
Oh,
Here
yeah.
we go. Here we go. Wait. Now, I know actually Wally had a discussion about this. It's not a dinosaur, it's a Komodo dragon. Some people were thinking it was a dinosaur. But the one I have anyways, it's the Komodo dragon over there in the corner, as you can see. It's not, I wouldn't call that a dinosaur. But there is the woolly mammoth there, and that's, when did they go extinct? You know?
Into the Ice Age, so about 10,000 years ago.
Oh, 10,000 years ago?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's not dinosaur time.
No.
So, yeah, I don't think.
I mean, do I think there's a flood? Yes. Every culture, every civilization, every people have spoken of a flood, but it occurred at different times, different places. So
every culture has a flood story, just a similar story, very similar, but some differences too.
The one that we as Christians or Jews, I guess Jews would be more accurate, the one that they look at come from Gilgamesh, so it's Babylonian, and because it's older. The Babylonian version's older.
The Loch Ness Monster edition. not the dinosaur. Yeah. But I don't know if maybe there was an actual dinosaur in here. Is there an older version of this Bible storybook? Do you know, Matthew? 1978.
Oh, yeah. Somebody said, who was it, said they had one.
Is there an older version?
Oh, I don't know.
I didn't know that there was.
My brain is still processing what Dallas was saying about Grieber, but I just posted in the comments the quote from the extra edition Watchtower, which quotes, "The disciple is not above his master, nor the servant above his Lord. It is enough for the disciple that he be his master. If they have called the master of the house Beelzebub, how much shall they call them of his household?" So that if you bought its shares into the organization, you would get that Watchtower saying that, if you the master of his house is Beelzebub, how much more so shall they call him of his household? It's got that double meaning.
Right.
So I hope that supports Dallas there.
Yeah. What do you think? You think Gilgamesh is an older story?
Yeah, you see, you're going into the old archetypes there, right?
Yeah, well, the ancient Babylonians, they had, Arcadians as well. They had Gilgamesh.
So you're talking about, you were talking about cuneiform texts earlier. I mean, how far back are we going? Oh, you were also talking about Zoroastrianism, and monotheism, right?
Right. I'm trying to find the oldest form of religion. That's what I want to know. I want to know what the oldest form of religion taught.
Happy Thoughts has to go.
That we know is the actual oldest form.
I'm leaving this very, very interesting and informative discussion. Hope you all have a wonderful week.
Oh,
and you too, Happy Thoughts. Take care. Why didn't Noah save 2 mammoths? Why did he let them die? Yeah. I know, right? I guess he couldn't fit them in the ark.
Well, he's not as kind and loving as you think he is, according to the Bible.
Noah?
No. God.
Yeah.
He's Noah.
It's quite a complex question, that, Anthony, because Zoroastrianism is often called the world's oldest religion, right? Or continuing organized religion.
Yes.
Right? What's it, about 1500 BCE, somewhere there?
I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up, but I'm not sure. It's old though.
But you've got older spiritual practices, obviously. So
Way older.
He was okay, right?
Yeah. So you asked your question, if I've got you correctly, you're going into proto-religion. What is that, right? So think about Aborigines or dream cults or shamanism. You know, in Paleolithic societies where humans are interpreting dreams or trance states or visions as communications. I mean, a lettuce that you were eating, or an heirloom lettuce or heirloom tomatoes, are very different to what we're eating now. I mean, a lettuce had nootropic properties. I mean, it was almost like akin to having cocaine. That was what it was like if you had that. The modern day lettuce is so toned down, that while our diets are far removed from what these people were having, and we see some of it in Africa. We see persons eating the mushrooms, and we see persons eating these roots, and they've got nootropic properties and hallucinogenic properties. You know, how do we know that this isn't part of our integral functioning within our consciousness? You know, so I don't know if that answers you to a certain extent. That's not formal religion, though.
Yeah, definitely. I think what you said makes a lot of sense.
Well, Zoroastrians, yeah. I mean, it says some scholars say they're 1500 to 1000 BC, and then it says other scholars say they date back 6,000 years total, going back, to 4000 BC. So,
yeah. So you've got animism, you've got shamanism, you've got ancestor worship, fertility rituals. I mean, a lot of these things are coming out of just human consciousness and human awareness, or linked to agricultural societies. A lot of it is astrotheology, dream religion. Many scholars believe that, your dream experiences, like your Aborigines, for instance, were among the earliest religious texts. You know, if you're talking about Johannes Grieber and automatic writing, well, this was happening in cave paintings. It was happening in some of these cuneiform texts, or texts that are going far beyond that, or some of the drawings and the emojis, if you want to call them such, where humans are trying to put down their earliest oral traditions and personal visionary experiences. So you see it. So you were talking about Babylonian texts, but I mean, you see it in Mesopotamian, Egyptian, later Greek cultures, where dreamers were supposedly having divine messages that were guiding the kings, the priests, the commoners. So how far back does that go? 40,000 years.
Even in the Old Testament, you had Daniel with the dreams, and
yeah.
Right.
So I'm just thinking, your shamans, that's probably about 40,000. But how do you date these things? 40,000 years. Your Neolithic rituals, that's 12,000 to 6,000 BCE, which that's getting a lot nearer. But Zoroastrianism was about 1500 BCE to about 1000 BCE, plus or minus 500 years there.
Right. That's what some scholars say. And then others say that some of the carbon datings for some of the archaeological sites they found could go back as far as 6,000 years. So
it's very difficult, Anthony.
So you don't know,
Okay. Can I say something real quick here? Born JW was asking what book are they studying in. He thought it for the midweek meeting, and he thought it was a new version of the My Book of Bible Stories, which it does sound like. It's called Learn from the Bible.
Yeah.
And so is it? Do you know, Matthew? Is that kind of what it is? Like a newer?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. And someone was saying that they were bored out of their mind.
Yeah, the comments I'm getting from persons, pioneers, they go, "Gee, we are so." They said they describe the congregation as like a dead atmosphere.
Yeah,
boy,
man, we went to one just to go in and take pictures and look around.
Yeah,
and it was It's always been bored, but it's even worse. It's like bored to tears.
So oh yeah, my mom, she's visiting her brother who is an inactive Jehovah's Witness, aka not a Jehovah's Witness, and
No.
like we're talking out, and then
Oh
and it's
boy.
funny because she knows this, but she still talks to him because he's not been disfellowshipped, and she was over there helping him out, and I was like, oh, are you going to the meetings on Zoom? She's like, oh yes, I'm not missing, I haven't missed a one, and I've even been witnessing to her brother and her nephew, and I'm like, oh my goodness, please.
The most
like, what are you gonna do?
Good
Tell him about
guy.
the Bible storybook?
Very smart guy. He is very business savvy and very smart, but morals went out the window, man.
Yeah, but he's no longer believing JW.
No.
But yeah, I think what it sounds to me like a lot of the meetings are kind of more like for children.
Yeah.
Is that true? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like grade 3 stuff.
Yeah, and that makes it boring for adults for sure.
Yeah. So it not only dumbs, you see, what's the whole idea? Disengage the thinking ability. As the fracture was increasing, your emphasis on obedience went up. So obedience is the more important thing. Any kind of thinking ability or personal ability, that's not what's being measured here. It's in crisis mode.
Right.
So yeah, just educate people on Bible story book stuff and keep it real dumbed down, I'm afraid.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, I do think that, researching and exposing the internet, the Jehovah's Witnesses, I mean, that's why a lot of people have left, but I guess it all just depends on whether or not they're scared to research or not.
Right.
Well, look how much your community that joins in your chat knows.
Yeah.
Look how much you know. I mean, we're touching on Zoroastrianism, and we're touching on ancient, oldest surviving structured religion.
Yes, that's true.
I mean, it's phenomenal what's flying here.
Rama poop pop.
Yeah, Rama.
Yeah, and see, we can have like conversations about different subjects, and without getting offended, without, because everyone has a different belief or a different view, and it's okay to have like a civilized conversation without it being offensive. And then Jehovah's Witnesses, it's like, you have to believe, if you are Jehovah's Witness, you have to believe just this way, and there is no other. You can't have a conversation, well, I don't know about this scripture, what do you think this scripture means? No, it's, you have to be told what it means. You cannot think for yourself.
Helen said reading Russell and Rutherford's books took me right out, besides the boredom.
Yeah,
they are boring.
It's very boring.
Yeah, the problem for me personally was the abuse.
Yes,
when the abuse happened, and when there was now conflicting orders, it broke it apart.
Yes.
Suddenly because you suddenly see the control mechanisms that are in place, and you start putting on one thread, and the whole jersey comes apart.
What made me stop studying with them and stop being a part of it, even though my relationship was in jeopardy, was the fact I saw that it was just teaching a bunch of lies. And I was like, man, I don't want to do that. And I didn't know about the abuse at that time. I just knew this teaching a bunch of lies. I was like, come on, I can't have my own opinion, but I got to regurgitate everything you're telling me to say.
Yeah, he did ask the elders about that. And so he's like, so you want me to just tell you what's in the book and not tell you, what I think it means? And that was one of his first clues is, this is not.
I've solved this before. That's what I told him. I said, I've solved this before. That's not,
and also
not my thing.
They were not nice to him. They yelled at him. And,
well, that was after they found out I wasn't going to play.
Well, he was always nice, always. Yeah. And they, they just it. I think the behavior speaks a lot too.
Oh yeah, I got yelled out in my house.
Yeah,
Then he
for
shouted
no
Jehovah
reason.
at me.
He thought Satan was in the room. No, he had to yell out
Uh,
Jehovah, and so
I
he said
shouted it back at him.
Jehovah.
I was like, and I thought it was funny. I started laughing.
That's a stand-up. That's some stand-up testimony.
Yeah,
It's true.
I was
What
like, these people are crazy.
Peps asking what year you left, Matthew.
Oh yeah, what year did you leave, Matthew? I'd like to know.
I think it was last year.
So I'm just writing in the comment. I was booted January 2025, PEPS 1975, over the corporal punishment, where there was 2 opposing orders. So we had local elders that were saying, "Oh no, you must promote corporal punishment," and we had people just. But very, very abusive, hey, Anthony, in the high density area that were beating kids at the Kingdom Hall in front of everybody.
I saw that.
Yeah, they did this. But I had raised this thing 3 years ago. And the branch said to me, "Matt, here is the direction. You got to tell the elders no." I've got it in writing from the branch.
Yeah.
I've got it in writing. They said, you go to these guys and say no. Then in January, they did the same thing again. And last year, some kids were hurt. I mean, 2-year-old kids.
Oh.
And in South Africa, it's illegal. It's not legal. So I got hold of the branch, and guess what? The branch committee said, "Yes, Matt, we agree with you. We agree. I've got it in writing. And I've got a record of this." So, but the local guys, because they had told the congregation to do it, created a liability for themselves. So they said, "No, we're going to put together a judgment committee." And they did it in a fast track way, and they just bypassed all the normal rules because it was a conflict of interests. So they just announced, without me present, they announced, "Oh, Matt's being removed," in a very, very strange way. And I just go, "You guys have bypassed all the rules here. I'm just taking you straight to the cops. If you've silenced the congregation in this way, you can answer to the cops." So that's what I did.
So they disfellowshipped you for that?
They changed the words. They did it in a very ambiguous way. And when I said, "Please, can you clarify what you've done?" they just went quiet. So I said, "Okay, well, I'm putting you on the record in front of the police as the superior authority, Jehovah's Witness." I said, "Because you cannot charge me on anything, because everything that I've done is an order from the branch. When the branch told me to bring this to your attention, you stalled me for 3 years, and I've got it all in writing. I've got the witnesses and everything. It's not just me that was doing this. There were people that were involved in this thing where the police were even called in." And I said, "No, you can't do that. That's illegal on South African soil. You can't do this." And then in the middle of the debacle, they get a young guy up on the platform, and he announces to the congregation, "Oh, just beat your kids as long as it's done in love." And they made him an elder that very night. And I said, "Oh, you guys, are you on crack? What are you guys doing? You know, how can you do that?" And I just said, "Right, that's it. Because this was witness, and you're confusing people and you're creating a liability. Whatever happened at this meeting, I'm just sending it to the police, because you're not listening, you're not cooperating, and there's a divide in the organization. You've got the branch committee telling me to do one thing. You've got the governing body telling me to do one thing. We've got it in writing. And you're doing the opposite. Okay, you know what this is? This is just a liability, and all you're doing is you're covering your own tail." So I hope that answers your audience. Sorry, I got emotional about it, but it is very emotional.
That's understandable.
Actually, someone was asking, they would love to hear your full story one day.
No doubt. I would too.
Maybe we could do either a live stream where you tell your story, or we could do a private interview, and then I could edit it.
Well, whoever I can't see who it was in the comments, but whoever asked it, thanks for asking, and Anthony and Casey, thanks for that. And if I get a bit emotional about it, I am emotional. I can't just turn off my emotions.
Peps asked for it. Also, so were you disfellowshipped for this?
They won't answer.
Okay, there was not an announcement made with your name.
They said I was removed as an elder. They said I was removed as a pioneer in January, and I said to them, right, please can you clarify this and clarify it in front of the police, because the meetings that you are arranging with me, you're putting me into jeopardy, you're putting my family into jeopardy, and I was in an ill state at that particular time, and they just were not cooperating. They were trying to pretend that I wasn't attending their meetings and things like, and it was just lies. They were falsifying records, and I said, right, you cannot be trusted in closed door scenarios. You're just actively lying, or from my perspective, you're actively lying, and it's a conflict of interest because you guys have broken South African law. As soon as you beat a child at a Kingdom Hall property in front of people, that is against the law. So what are you going to do? You don't want to listen to me? Fine, you can listen to the police. And if the police don't want to deal with it because now they're realizing that they're dealing with this big international conglomerate of lawyers, which we've seen happening in Norway, I mean, we haven't even got a decision from Norway. That's showing you what kind of complication is going on. I mean, what the hell do you do?
Yeah. And well,
maybe. By the way, we need to reach out to Artsy Kim. Not to change the subject.
Kim, people have been asking about Kim. She hasn't been on lately, so we'd like to see her again. But also, maybe Matthew, when you feel ready, I have your email, so maybe we could do it like a little Zoom call, and this would be off. This doesn't have to be live. And then you can
do it when it's all nice and calm.
Yeah. Well, you have a good reason to be upset. And
he does. I didn't realize.
And the thing is that instead of dealing with the real issues, they rather get rid of people, whistleblowers.
Yeah. The police told me they didn't want to touch this. They said we need to have the actual cases, and I go, but they're hiding the cases because I can't get the names. I said, when it happens so quickly. I just see it happening at the hall. And I said, and people are so scared to report this thing. What do you do? And they go, we don't want to touch this. And I said, well, I don't blame you, because, I mean, if Norway is struggling with this, how is South African police going to deal with this? It's very, very tricky. Very tricky.
What?
Talk about something in the news, not changing the subject, but something in the news. The J-Dubs in Alabama better be careful.
Why is that?
Because they're trying to pass a law there that if they commit CSA with someone under the age of 12, that they can be given the death penalty.
Wow. Yeah.
Go figure Alabama would do that. But that's
Dave is saying that you should write a book and he could host it on his server.
Okay. So Anthony and KC, with your permission, if I can answer Dave, I've tried to address this on my channel, and I've tried to, in my posts, I've written things out, and I've tried to be very, very careful and respect the legal system. So Dave, I really appreciate that, but I've tried to save you the trouble, and all my videos are already transcripted, so it's all written out. Everything's written out.
Were you born in?
I say more or less. I was young enough to be programmed. Yes, I think when that question is asked, are you? It's different to you, Anthony, because you came in with the mindset of going, let me just have a healthy skepticism.
Yeah.
But for many who are too young, you program.
Third. I'm third. My grandparents.
Yeah.
And
I've got videos of our family study when I was a kid. I mean, I've got videos, home videos of family worship night.
Your parents converted?
Yeah. And from Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, and from Judaism, and I mean, it's a real mixture. Even Freemasons are in there. Rosicrucianers are in there.
Oh, wow.
Wow, okay. Yeah, so So they would like an interview. So we could plan that, Matthew, when you're ready.
Whatever helps anybody. And yeah, you guys have been doing it longer, and you know how to do it in a way that's helpful to people. So yeah, whatever you need, you got it.
But you're right on that. The born-ins.
Yeah.
And it's hard for somebody that's been raised in something to adapt to not believing in that, because that's all you know.
Oh.
And that's hard.
That's true. Maverick is saying, if I get called up to a judicial committee, bring Coco with me. She's my little little demon dog, they call her, you know.
Maverick or whoever gets called into things, just document everything. And you are allowed to record. They tell you you're not allowed to record. That's nonsense. You are allowed to record. Just be very careful with that record, and you have to have a third party to validate your recording. But you know, as long as you're careful not to plaster it all over the internet, you are absolutely allowed to have that. And if you want a scripture, because you're in the scripture mindset, Matthew 18:15-35 says you can take along a witness, so your recording becomes your witness. And remember that Jehovah is the great witness, and he decided to record things in the Bible. He's the first recorder. So you are absolutely justified in the legal system to make a record. And if they deny that you are allowed to have a record, you can transcribe the events. And then you send the transcription back to them, and you say you've got an opportunity to adjust the transcription or to object to the transcription. And then your transcription becomes evidence, and you can put that into a deposition. Even if the police say that they don't want to get involved, the police are still termed the superior authorities, which Jehovah's Witnesses have to acknowledge. And they are also your public servants as well. So even if they're unwilling to make a case, they still have to accept your deposition, because in the future, the law may change, and then you go back to the deposition which the police hold. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And to clarify something, I'm glad you mentioned that. For anybody that's in North Carolina that wants to go and video anything, as long as you know about it, it's legal here.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And you're not violating anybody's privacy. So if you're in a public place like a Kingdom Hall, it's open to the public. You're as long as you know it, which you're allowed to video it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, that's good advice then, Casey and Anthony. Can I also stretch it a little bit further? And I know that this might be controversial, but you just come in and correct me if I've overstepped, Anthony or Casey. If it's a matter of justice, and they say that Jehovah's Witnesses will not service you because you've been removed ambiguously because of a liability, you know what you can do? You can do this in front of police or in front of legal representatives, or if it's a civil case, you can say, I wish to reapply back to Jehovah's Witnesses on the basis of forgiveness of sins. So what is the pathway to my being accepted back? And because they are a recognized religion, they have to play fairly with you when it's in writing. So when they deny that you have access, or they deny you a path back or a 6-month probation or whatever, then it makes the case open again. They cannot claim to have statutes of limitations, because if they refuse you access into the congregation or a pathway to so-called repentance or to active community relations in the religion, then they're going against human rights, and it would be on record if that happens. So whenever a person is looking for justice, you can do that with the help of legal aid, and you can come back into the congregation on paper, all right? And they have to respect that. And then when they deny it, it's a denial of your human rights, which resets the clock of the statutes of limitations. So then anything that happened in the past, which they tried to bury in terms of liabilities, gets reopened. They can't pull that card.
Wow. Huh. I mean, and Peps says that he can see why they haven't tried to approach you. I mean, you know everything really well, and they're probably scared of you.
I would say so. He's very well educated in it.
Yes.
But you can hear my nerves are on it. You know, even though talking with you guys, and you guys are very calm and everything like this, but even though I can rationalize, it puts my nerves on edge because I get into the trauma mindset, just recalling these kind of things, which is part of recovering from spiritual abuse.
Yes, it takes a couple of years, I think, to really, get into the acceptance mode where you're okay with it. But yeah, it took. I was angry for a while, so
well, you go through those
the grieving process, the 5 stages.
The 5 stages of grieving. Yeah.
Peps 1975 says something interesting. He says, if I get summoned for a judicial, I'll get in touch with Matthew. It's good to have humor, but I will say something about this because I want to validate Peps 1975. Very often persons are isolated. Whenever there's a liability, they try and make a closed door scenario and you go, who's on my side? Who's on my side? And just having a witness breaks it. It breaks that control thing. You say, yeah, I'll meet with you. And you don't ask them permission. You take your witness with you. Do not ask permission. If there's a conflict of interest, they have no authority. Their authority is only Bible-based. So as soon as there's a conflict of interest, it's against the law and it's against the scriptures because they have to submit to the superior authorities. So you can absolutely take a witness. So Peps, if you ever feel brave enough to contact me, I'll back you up. I'll just back you up as a quiet witness and I'll just be present, won't say anything. And you've got somebody to verify, these are what events have actually occurred. So Peps, you can choose me or you can choose whoever else you want. But I think also in recovery places or channels like what Anthony and KC have set up, to actually have persons that would say, I will be present as a witness, as a neutral witness, just to observe legally what's happening. For many, they get so desperate that to actually have somebody available, they can't afford perhaps lawyers for a civil case or something like that, or to have somebody physically present or somebody present on a meeting or something like that. They just get desperate. And sometimes just to have somebody present is such a relief.
Yes, absolutely. And so Bo also,
I like what Bo said. Yeah,
he can. He feels this similar to you.
Right.
He or she. It's you, Matthew. And Matthew, did you go to the after all this happened last year? Did you ever set foot in a Kingdom Hall, or did you go to assembly any last year?
I'll tell you what happened. When I was just doing my job, all right, they sent me to some really terrible assignments. My partner didn't survive, myself, I got a pathogen and it went into my spinal fluid. So I lost my eyesight, I lost my hearing, I was in real trouble, bleeding, all this kind of stuff. I'm only starting to talk because of guys like you. I couldn't even get words out. I was really, really stuck. And when I was at the peak of pathogens, I mean, I had like about 20 units per blood cell. It was incredible. I was really finished, had to be put on antibiotics and treatment to save my brain from collapsing. They pulled this stunt publicly and said, oh, Matt's removed, blah, blah, blah. But it was all to try and protect themselves from liability. So look, that's very personal information, but if it helps anybody, that's what happened. I was infected because of the places that they were shoving me in Africa to go and die, basically. Sorry, but that's the truth.
For sure.
That's what happened. My partner's not alive. They eliminated him because he exposed a liability. He was 20 years in special service on special judicial cases, and they basically go, let's get rid of this.
Because of you got sick.
I have to allege that. I can only say that that's alleged. And please take my personal lived experience as a survivor, as an emergent person, and just view my testimony with healthy skepticism and, the usual process. But that was my lived experience. That's all I'm relating.
Wow, that's awful. So, but like in the local congregation where you're at, you in your area, you haven't been there, or to the like a local.
No, I've got family that's involved. So when they booted me out, they didn't give me a pathway back safely. Every time I showed up, they basically started persecuting my family. So when my family started to try and answer up, they would ignore them and they would persecute them. So my family just said to me, Matt, if you are even present, do you know you're making it a living hell for us? And I just go, okay, I get it. Sure. I've got it. So they basically using this situation as a blackmail, emotional blackmail, and making your life a living hell. But I'd like to hope or believe that people aren't stupid. So some people, it's created a fracture. They still interact with me, but
your family
I think the reason for the questions is persons want to go, Matt, what is your real belief system? And I go, for all intents and purposes, it's exposed. So if that relaxes your mind, I realize that for many that come into a healing community, you go, oh, sure, but Matt, are you still active with Jehovah's Witnesses? Go, let me tell you, I've been fighting this thing for years. I've been fighting the abuse things. And in a way, they've done me a favor by this ambiguous removal. So I realize I'm in a little bit of a liminal space. And if that makes you uncomfortable, I apologize. I'm not trying to dodge you. I'm just that's the story.
Does your family talk to you?
My family knows what happened. They know of all the falsification. It makes it very, very difficult, but the family does comprehend what's gone on. They know what's happened. Because remember, my father was the coordinator. They pushed him out. They pushed him out, and we caught them adjusting the files. They falsified the files, and I did my nut. I go, you're lying against my own father, who's been a coordinator for 20, 30 years. What the hell are you doing? You're destroying a man who has given his life to this organization, and what for? To cover your own sorry backsides. This is moral cowardice. And I'm seeing them falsifying the records and catching them. I'm in such high alert. I'm catching them going to the congregation files and adjusting the files. And I'm going, this file and this file doesn't tally. What's going on? Because they don't count on somebody like me keeping all the evidence. They don't count on it. I'm going, I am not missing a damn trick. And I had already gone to governing body level. I'd already gone to governing body level and said, tell me what should be done in a situation like this. And in writing, they said, oh, this is absolutely abhorrent that the persons in the congregation would do this. And I got it in writing, and I said, right, there you go. This is coming from governing body families, and it's coming from branch committee. You guys, what do you think about this? They refused to read it. They refused to read it. And when now governing body realized that they were incriminating themselves, that's when it shut down. Because they realized, oh, sure, but we've exposed us ourselves. We've exposed the congregation. We've exposed the contradictory orders in the congregation. And now we've created a liability. That's when everybody backed off. And now Matt Gray is public enemy number one. That's what happened.
Wow.
So they can't say that I was disobedient. I used their own direction from service desk and from the governing body. I made sure I tied into their governing body. I made sure. Said, if ever this thing hits the fan, you guys are going to be accountable. And
how did you guys in Africa, Matthew?
Yeah. How'd you end up in Africa?
Yeah, are you from Johannesburg or that area? Or are you?
I'm English. I was born in London, Hampstead Heath, under the Bow Bells. So it's actually City of London. That's where I was born.
Okay, I was just wondering how you ended up, because you got a really, I can tell you have an English accent.
Do you ever want to go back?
They say I've got a South African. I'm surprised there's still an English twang. But so from England, so I served in Zimbabwe. I served in Zambia, Zimbabwe, Lesotho, Swaziland, which is now Eswatini, Western Botswana, and then South Africa. They moved me around to different regions.
Were you serving where the need was great?
Yeah, I was full in as a what they call a special pioneer. I was in special service.
You were a special pioneer. Okay.
Wow.
So I was a special pioneer. I was a Bethelite. I've done all sorts of things, served in different countries. I was trained by the coordinator in Zimbabwe. One of the persons that's in the comments wrote to me and said, "Oh, did you know this family?" I said, "Yep, absolutely." So persons have been communicating to me and saying, "Geesh, Matt, we can tell you all sorts of things about what we experienced," and it's just opening up a big, massive network. You can see that the liability goes all the way throughout the world, throughout the planet. So yeah.
So you've lived in
So
Africa.
I've served in all of these locations, and and the person who is the director in Ireland over the assets. So you know about that? It's the asset company Lepta in Ireland.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they got all excited because they were. Yeah, they got all excited because I was in line as one of their anointed for the governing body. My instructor was trying to groom me for that. That's not a pipe dream. That was really happening. They got all excited, and I was passed by the inner network. So I was meant to go to Ireland. I was meant to go to Peru, all of these various places. I started on my tour throughout the world, like Sri Lanka, all of these places. Yeah, but I went. I can't justify this. I absolutely can't. So I dug my heels and I said, I'm not traveling anymore. I'm not doing it, because you're basically robbing from your own people to do this, and I couldn't stomach it anymore. So I stopped doing that.
So you've lived in Africa a while now, huh?
Sorry for such a long answer, but it's been a complicated life.
Started off as a Bethelite, left Bethel, and become a special pioneer.
I was a special pioneer, then I was a Bethelite and a special pioneer again.
Okay, got you.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
And I served as a Bethelite in 3 different Bethels.
Now you can live. Now you can live where you want to live, not where you are assigned to live.
Okay, so let me bring it down a few notches just to respect the audience, and I must apologize if you can hear my emotions running away with me. But I contacted a really great psychologist and criminologist, and he said, "Matt, let me tell you something right now. I've been dealing with this for years." He says, "My brother is a lawyer." He says, "I want to tell you something. They have done you a favor."
Yeah, that's right. They did. It's good you got out of that in the end, because I mean, they were just.
That comforts the audience, but I really respect that criminologist and psychologist. He's a leading psychologist in the world. I really respect him, and I respect the network that I'm connected to. It's how I got connected to Steve Hassan. I got connected to Steve Hassan through Deborah Lynn Katz, because I was connected to the psychologist. So that's how I got to come across him. And they all said, "Matt," the police as well said to me, "Matt, you've got a target on your back. We need to just tell you this. You've got a target on your back. What you've exposed is a massive, massive cartel. We've been instructed only to take it to a certain point, and I got subpoenaed to court because of a young person, and I did my duty, and I was paid by the state to do that. But the police said to me, "Matt, you've got a target on your back because you've exposed a massive liability. Can we just put you in the picture? And our detectives can only go so far. That's our jurisdiction, and we've got to stop. But you've opened up a whole cartel that goes from Cape to Cairo to Egypt and beyond."
Does the governing body, did they ever, because you said you were in touch with them, did they ever respond to you?
Yes, I've got the correspondence of their families that responded to me. I've also got the correspondence of their research department and also their key fiduciaries that responded to me. I made sure that was not only in writing, but it was all receipted. And I also made sure it was verified by persons that were loyal towards supreme ethics, who were saying, "Matt, we actually agree with you with what's going on. We can verify that this information has arrived at the branch service desk level, therefore for governing body attention." And it was also at the time that we had certain governing body members that were verified by some of my friends who are loyal to the ethics and who can actually see the abuse that's been going on and going. We have to be very, very careful, but for us to stay helping the governing body, we have to just be very, very careful. But we can verify, and we're prepared to go on the record that this thing has arrived. So it's very, very useful to have inside persons there, especially for people who are trying to seek justice. And so when persons say to me, "Oh, Matt, you're so involved, just get the hell out of this thing."
Yeah.
The only reason why I lasted as long as I did was for the justice aspect. I had people who were in absolute dire consequences because there were some real terrible people that were getting up onto the regional conventions and into positions of power that were just abusive, really out and out abusive people. And they had created such a harm that I said, okay, I will do it as far as I possibly can until I'm just eliminated. I'll just try and do that. So that's what happened. So if anybody is going, "Matt, we don't trust you," or anything like that, that's the reason why I held on as long as I did.
And are you frightened for your safety? Peps wants to know.
Yes, I am concerned for my safety, but I've been in danger for a long time. It accumulates in the body, but I mean, I was in near-death situations for past 25 years. They put me into political hotbeds. I was in farms that were on fire, attacked by dissidents. I've been physically assaulted and attacked, and I just lived in that vigilant mode, for such a very, very long time. But to answer your question, currently I still am in danger. It's one of the things that the police asked me. They said, "Do you feel threatened or whatever?" And I answered as honestly as I could.
Is governing body ever? Did you ever get a letter from Bethel or anything? Or
New York, Bethel.
Yeah.
I got several letters. I've got huge correspondence. I've got recent correspondence, and I've got correspondence going back years when I started tackling this thing. So I've got enormous records.
Not. What are they saying?
There's a divide. There's a fracture within the organization. There's persons that are on my side, and there are persons that are against. But what happened was, as soon as it became apparent that there was a liability, they said the only way that they want to deal with it is they want it dealt with, that it becomes a civil case, because the only way that they'll make an adjustment within the organization is if God's superior authorities through the civil channels start to deal with it, because they recognize that as God's minister. So it only becomes an adjustment organizationally when now the case is proven either through a civil case or through, like a case like Norway or something like that. That's when they will take an action. So that's what creates the adjustments within the organization. They actually see that as Jehovah's hand using the superior authorities. So they actually push for that. I don't know if that makes a weird kind of sense, but there is tremendous fracture within the organization. So even if persons agree with me, they kind of go, "Yeah, we're stuck. Let's use the legal system," and you get Norway.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to answer this question that Helen asked? It's up to you. You don't have to comment.
Okay, we'll go for it. I'm not. I don't feel my usual smack in the head. I feel okay. What's the question?
Did you find Jesus yet? He's the only one that took the rage away from me that I had when I woke up. I would cry, but it didn't feel like spiraling. It felt like he was lifting the emotional trauma out. So,
Helen, that's a very, very good question, and I want to validate it. I think that's an excellent question. Also, bear in mind that we've got persons that follow Islam, we've got persons that follow Hinduism, we've got persons that follow theosophy in the audience. We've got an eclectic group that follows us. So I try and keep it to the liabilities. I try and keep it to the ethical point, and I try to minimize on the religious side or on the spiritual side. I can tell you that I've got an eclectic view and I embrace many things, and that might sound like a contradiction, but I'm able to actually embrace a lot of different disciplines.
Okay, that's a good answer. Hi, Faith outside Watchtower. She wants to come in and just pop in. Yeah, and it's true, Matthew, because like everybody has like different views on here, and different.
And we want to respect all the survivors here, and the great good that's being done. Anthony and Casey, you facilitate a tremendous amount in a very, very kind way, and we've got very kind people in the audience as well. But I've also got to say, I don't want to, I come in to kind of hang out with you guys. I also have got a bit of a consciousness or self-consciousness that to maybe attempt to dominate these things, but that is not the intention. Don't want to do that. Just want to come in and help people to the extent possible. And I see you guys having a good time, and I go, geez, Casey, Anthony, you guys are having a good time. And really, that's my primary motive. It's just going for the humanity, just come together and enjoy people and have a good time with people and start becoming human again. That's the motive.
Exactly. And Faith, appreciate your comment here, and also shout out to you for being a channel member. And Jeff is normally here. He's a channel member too, but he's not here today. He normally is here. That? Jeff Parnell.
No, who's this?
Faith outside the Watchtower.
Oh, yeah,
channel member.
Yes.
Okay. So Matthew, thank you for sharing some of your terrible things that's happened. But you are very intelligent, and I do believe what other people are saying about you. They're probably scared of you because you know too much.
Well, it's hard in survival networks because sometimes just by talking our story, it triggers persons, or it puts us all on guard, and we go, gee, I don't want to fall into this trap, or I'm just starting to integrate with people and enjoy friendships. I don't want to fall into another trap or another abusive situation.
You don't want to go into another cult, another brainwashed controlling situation.
Yeah. And so sometimes we get wary of each other, and we're trying to feel each other and go, where are you coming from, and all this. And sometimes it's triggering. Maybe it triggers off a trauma or something like this, and that's not the intention. The intention is just, let's hang out with Anthony and Casey and listen to your music and joke and go, this is nuts,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
And pretty soon, you guys will be able to download the Facts on JW, the Frequencies of Freedom music on Spotify and iTunes. So
so he's working on that. So we want to deprogram Watchtower language.
Yeah.
Anthony and Casey, if you want to have me on for that, or as per your plan, and it just brings a little control to things and calms it down nicely, I'll support you 100%, and I'll support also whoever's wanting to benefit from that. But I'm going to respectfully take a bow out, because I sort of sense I've been yapping for a long time. And I want to say thank you very much to you both, and to anybody who's listening. I'm going to just listen from the background, and I'm just going to be quiet for a little bit. Okay.
Coming on, we appreciate it. And Matthew, I do have your email, so we can make arrangements to do like a little Zoom chat.
Matthew,
and you can tell us
always
your story.
A pleasure. Always a pleasure.
And again, no pressure to say anything you don't want to say. It's just kind of like, I like to know, like, okay, how did you how long you been in the truth? How many generations, like your parents came in, whatever, and like what, and then like maybe how long you were in it, and then like what led you to waking up, and not that you have to go into like extreme detail in that, but like. For me, it was like the doctrinal, some people it's doctrinal, like, 1914, the UN, and some it's the treatment, the abuse, and that kind of thing, the shunning policies and stuff like that. I just interviewed another lady before, and it's on I did an interview with this lady, Sharon, and hers was the shunning policy. That's what woke her up. So, but
Well,
yeah,
yeah, thanks, Casey, for putting it that way. I don't mind. I made a promise to support these kind of things to the extent possible. It's just trying to find a balance because you know some persons in the audience, they come on just to have fun and enjoy, and they don't necessarily expect a story. But if you set it up like that, I 100% support you. Yeah, 100%.
okay, well, sounds great, and I appreciate that, and we'll make arrangements soon. And I appreciate that, Born JW too. I try to be
What's that?
a good interviewer.
Oh yeah, she is.
And then Matthew,
That's
you have
her
an amazing story.
strength.
Go well, folks, and thank you for a really great evening or a great day. Thank you very much, and thanks for everybody who hung on there or clung on to in the comments and everything like that. I really appreciate you as well. So go with blessings, everybody. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you, Matthew. And
Always good.
Well, I want to just say a couple things here before we go. I want to thank all of everybody who has been on today. And let's see here, we have, what's your name? IE.
A dehydrated nurse. Hey.
Oh, take care, y'all, and good night.
Dehydrated nurse. I am reinstated, but my JW sister won't talk to me because I tried to wake her up. Rest of my JW family and
you know, and husband died.
Oh my. Okay.
Oh, you know, the thing is about trying to talk to Good Night, Maverick. Thank you for coming on, Maverick. The thing about trying to convert or trying to wake people up, it's like you can't really do it. You have to be so careful about what you say. And I'd say, you know, tidbits of information, walk away and frame it into a question. But it is hard because you want to tell them so many things and you can't. But we want to, before we're going to get off here in just a moment, but we do have one thing we want to say is we've been doing these. And Matthew, real quick, thank you, Matthew, so much for coming on and sharing your story here today. Before we get off the live stream, we've been doing these every Saturday at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. And we are going to try to do one next time we meet. We're going to do it in a month. So instead of this coming Saturday, we're going to do it in 1 month from now, which is March 21st, same time. And we're going to be doing more midweek videos and trying to put those out more frequently. So we'll have time to do that. So what we'll do is we're going to just meet back up here in 1 month, but we will definitely continue this group and this little community that we have. And don't worry, we are not going anywhere. We'll be back in 1 month. So we will put out a little notification before we do our next one. So it will be exactly let's see, March 21st at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes, and that's where we will be back then. And like I said, don't go anywhere. We will be back, and we will be posting videos throughout the week as well.
Oh,
yeah. But
we're only going to take a break.
So. Yeah. We'll be back in a month. We're not going away. We'll just be back in about a month. And also we might have more to talk about then too. But we want to say
a lot of videos to come out.
Yeah, we want to have more videos to come out as well that you can watch during the week as well. Will it be weekly after that? I don't know. We're going to check back in a month and then we'll see. But we want to thank everyone for coming on today. Thanks, Sue and Born JW and Peps, Dehydrated Nurse and Maverick, and Matthew, and let's see who else. Dave, thank you for sharing that information. We really appreciate it. And so if anybody wants to go on his little his name here. They can click on that and on YouTube, and his information for the PDF files is on there.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. I was looking at it.
Faith Outside Watchtower, thank you for popping in today. And let's see, who else we have? Peps. And then let's see. And I know we had Helen and
who's the one in green?
Oh, Happy Thoughts has she's
Go
already
back to
gone.
green. Right there.
Yeah, we have this person.
How do you pronounce
IESOUSIEVE. I don't know.
Okay.
Thank you for coming on.
Definitely, because you had some good things you said. I like
yeah.
that.
And let's see, we had Bo the Hopper and The Desert Has Water, Jane Spitfire, Dallas, of course.
Dallas.
And yeah, well, we are missing Jeff today.
And Artsy Kim.
Yeah, she hasn't been in.
She hadn't been here in a couple of weeks.
No.
We got to reach out to her on email.
We are in North Carolina.
Who said that?
Dave.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we can share the live stream load. We'll think about it. Okay. Whatever you feel comfortable doing.
Sweet. That would be
nice. We can
just upload it and let it go.
And we can I'll email you and we can figure out something, Matthew. But anyways, we'll be back in about a month. So it will be March 21st. That's the next date. But like I said, don't worry, we're not going.
I'm in Tampa Bay area. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're not going to be gone long, and we will be back. So we want to keep the community going, of course, and just know that we will be posting more videos during the week as well. So I hope everybody has a great week, and we will see you March 21st.
That's it.
Bye,
Later,
everybody.
guys. Peace. Love everybody around you.